It was nighttime. A boy with blood-scarlet hair and dark blue eyes was walking through the streets of one of the 5 great villages called Konoha. He was dressed in a black vest with red inserts and a swirl mark on the back, black boxer briefs with red stripes on the sides, and standard black shinobi sandals. All the townspeople hated this boy. They overcharged him in the stores, or threw him out of them, called him a demon, beat him, humiliated him. He had no parents, he didn't even know who they were. The only thing he had managed to find out was that his mother was Uzumaki, nothing else, not even friends. He was alone. This boy's name was Uzumaki Naruto. The boy was on his way home, when suddenly they grabbed him, dragged him to an alley and started beating him and telling him, "This is for killing my fiancé," or, "for killing my son," and all in the same tone. After another blow the boy lost consciousness. The boy woke up, in some dark room with pipes stretching along the walls. The boy heard someone calling him, he had no choice but to go to the voice. The boy came out as a huge golden cage with a piece of paper with the kanji written, "Seal." Scarlet looked inside the cage and saw 2 scarlet beast eyes, then he heard a growling but calm and firm voice. "Here comes my jailer, boy, you've taken a beating," said the voice. "Hello, where am I, who are you? And how did I get here?" The boy asked the questions that troubled him. "You're in your subconscious, you lost consciousness after the beating, and who am I? I'm the great and terrible 9-tailed demon fox Kyuubi no Yoko," said the giant fox proudly. "I guess you were sealed inside me since you were in my subconscious in a cage." The boy asked another question. "You're smart," said the fox. "Thank you," said the boy, "but can I ask you another question?" Go ahead, then. Tell me what your name is, because Kyuubi is a nickname," asked the boy. "Why do you need to know that?" the fox asked in surprise. "I just wanted to ask you to be friends, because I don't have friends, and since you are sealed inside me, I thought you might feel lonely, just like me," explained the boy slightly blushing. "Boy, you didn't get hit in the head, you want to be friends with a demon, are you serious?" The fox was even more surprised, but the answer ended up shocking him. "Compared to some humans, you're the kindest creature, so my answer is, yes." "Boy, you're not like others, people wanted my power and they didn't think twice about us. My name is Kurama. My name is Kurama-san, and my name is Uzumaki Naruto. Now we'd better get this cage out of the way. Do you happen to know how to do it? First of all, let's use the first name, and secondly, this seal requires a key. And where can I get it? I don't know, but I think I know someone who can help you. Try touching the seal and see what happens." Naruto approached the seal and then he was enveloped in a vortex that lifted him up to the seal, and as soon as he touched the seal he was grabbed and pulled to the side. It was a blond man in a Jonin uniform wearing a cloak that said, "Fourth Shadow of Fire," with light blue eyes. "Well, hello there Naruto," greeted the 4th Hokage. "How do you know my name, Hokage-sama, and how did you come to be here, since you died 6 years ago?" the scarlet-haired man asked. "Well, how can a father not know his son's name?" the blonde-haired man asked. "Father?" Naruto asked in surprise. "Yes Naruto, this is your father Yondaime Hokage Namikaze Minato," Kurama explained. "He's right, I am your father, didn't they tell you that?" Minato was surprised. "They never told me who I am and who my parents are. They constantly beat me, called me a demon. I barely found out that my mother Uzumaki, but who she is and who my father is no one told me, even from Kurama. I found out just now." In tears he told the boy. The fox only confirmed his words. "No one told you?" Minato was astonished. "Why are you breaking the seal?" "Kurama is the only friend I have, and I don't want my friend to be imprisoned." "I don't want my friend to be imprisoned," said Minato, surprised. "Believe me, a quarter of what she said about her relationship with him is true, and I did decide, because even a demon feels sorry for him," replied the fox for the scarlet-haired one. "Naruto, listen to me, there is not much time left, so I will tell you everything I know, and you fox, please take care of him," said the blonde and began a series of 45 seals. At the end he touched the boy's forehead and disappeared, and the scarlet-haired again lost consciousness. Chapter 2, Training. He woke up in the hospital, from which he had escaped safely, and went home. When he arrived at his house, although it was a bit of a mess, the walls were cracked up to his elbow and the house had sagged badly, he sat up in bed and went into his subconscious. Hello Kurama, do you know who brought me to the hospital? Some Anbu. I don't know anything else. I see, can you train me partner, because I'm not sure I can handle all the information my father gave me. Okay, but first break the seal, just a little bit, so I can communicate with you mentally. Said the fox. Naruto flew in the whirlwind to the seal and broke it slightly. Great, now we can communicate unconsciously. Where do you want to start? I think the most appropriate would be to start with physical training, then when the body is strong enough, we can move on to chakra control, and then to the techniques, but I advise you, before you start training techniques, to study the barriers of concealment too. Here the fox interrupted Naruto. So that old 3 and his Anbu and elders don't find out about my abilities. Finished the scarlet-haired man. Yeah, you're thinking right kid, and besides at the academy you have to fool around, because of the same elders. I hear you Kurama. Let's start with the physical training. After saying that, Naruto headed to one of the abandoned shooting ranges. Later at the shooting range. Kurama, are you here? The scarlet-haired one asked mentally. Yes, start by doing 10 laps around the training range, 25 squats, 40 push-ups, 20 pull-ups, and then practice your father's taijutsu. Uzumaki started the exercises. After half an hour he finished, and after another 5 minutes of rest he started with taijutsu. 1 year passed at this pace. During this year, Uzumaki had become noticeably fitter, had increased his stamina, had developed taijutsu to the level of a strong genin, and had changed his wardrobe. He still wore black and red clothes, but instead of breeches he wore black fingerless pants and gloves with a red metal insert, also the shoulder-length hair industry. And now he was returning home after training. Today was October 9th, when suddenly Anbu appeared in front of him. What do you want? Naruto asked in a cold voice. Thanks to the fox, the scarlet-haired one had long ago realized that he was being watched. Hokage calling, answered the Anbu and disappeared in a whirlwind of leaves. I wonder what he wants. Wondered Naruto mentally and headed in the direction of the residence. He probably wants to talk about your training, and probably the academy, so my advice is to wear a silly mask when you talk to him. All right partner. All right, here's the residence. Said the scarlet-haired man. Hey, old man, why did you call? Without knocking and in a cheerful voice asked Uzumaki and entered the office. Hello Naruto, I see you've been training more lately, what's that about? Asked the third one. I heard that the academy is also recruiting students. Naruto replied with prepared words. Why did you call me? I see you already know about the academy, that's why I called you to tell you that you will train there. Can I go now, old man? Yes, go. Naruto, tomorrow we'll start studying chakra control. Kurama said. All right partner. The next day at the abandoned shooting range. What do I have to do? First you have to feel it. Sit in lotus posture and start meditating, and try to feel the fire in your stomach area, and then go through your whole body. I see, thank you Kurama. Naruto thanked and began to meditate. After half an hour he felt the chakra, and after another hour he managed to run it through his channels. Hey Kurama, I think that's it. Good boy, now try to climb the tree using chakra. You have to channel chakra into your feet, but if you don't have enough chakra, you will fall, and if you have too much, the tree will break. But we'll do that after you master the hiding barriers. I hear you partner, what do I need to learn these barriers? First you need to know the basics, but with fourth knowledge, you just need to gather certain hand seals that create such a barrier. Like this. Naruto gathered a very long chain of seals and shouted, Fuinjutsu, barrier. After the blonde touched the ground the entire clearing was covered in a barrier of sound and chakra. Yes, you Uzumaki are always perfect with barriers, you know, put a couple more protective barriers at home, and here there is also a hiding presence. Thanks to her, no one will know what you do here, and the protective barrier won't stop anyone from coming. Chapter 3, The Academy. Another month passed. During this month Naruto learned the barrier of the 5 violet lights, the seal of the 5 elements, shadow clone, henge, increased his chakra reserve and improved his control over it, learned sealing techniques, mastered the first stage of Rasengan mastery. It was time to enter the academy. Naruto arrived at the academy after the Hokage had gathered and began his speech, about the will of fire and so on. After that, they were divided into classes. So from today I am your mentor, my name is Iruka Yumino, but for you I am Iruka Sensei, and now I will call you, and you introduce yourselves, and so the first one will be also Uzumaki did not listen, and just looked out the window and talked to Kurama. Next, Uzumaki Naruto, introduce yourself to us. Said Iruka. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I do not like many things and I do not like many things. Hobbies will not interest you. Goals and dreams I will not tell you. I have everything, and he went to his seat. Then everyone was dumbfounded, because he did not say anything about himself. Well, today there will be no class. Tomorrow I'll expect you all at 8 o'clock in this classroom. Said the dark-haired man. So, Naruto, how do you like your class? Asked the fox as they walked towards the shooting range. The only one that seems normal to me is that Uchiha, and that's it. And you, what do you think? I've noticed that since the barriers have been lifted at home and at the training ground, the Anbu are watching you guys more closely and trying to break your barriers. They will be broken. I've put up a self-repairing one. Kurama, I have an idea. Remember our conversation about the academy? Well, how about if I show my skills only in sparring? Because of my good taijutsu I can't be taken anywhere. Suggested the guy with the scarlet hair. You're probably right, so do as you please. Chapter 4. Graduation. Naruto had been studying for 4 years, and he had been studying to pass, with the exception of taijutsu. In his training with the fox, Naruto learned his elements, which were 3: fire, wind and lightning. He learned several elemental techniques from the scrolls he had stolen from the Hokage, such as Fire Ball, Phoenix Flowers, Fire Spiral, Fire Dragon and Fire Destruction, with the element of lightning conduct lightning chakra through metal, electric net, discharge. He also began to master the Hiraishin of the wind bullets, wind gust and wind blade, and can conduct through metal. Also thanks to the clones, he raised the level of taijutsu, learned the second and third stage of Rasengan, and after another month he was able to create it with one hand, and began to study Fuinjutsu more deeply. So kids, tomorrow is your final exam. I advise you to prepare, especially you Naruto, you can't pass the exam with taijutsu alone. Iruka declared. All right, Iruka-sensei. Iruka-sensei said, and thought to himself, if it wasn't for the elders, I would have passed the exam long ago, and I would be a Jonin. That's all there is to studying for the exam. The first thing I did after the academy was to go to the Ichiraku. Listen Kurama, do you think you'll teach them the maximum or the normal? Naruto asked on the way to the Ichiraku. Teach them the maximum. I want to see their faces, especially the face of that Uchiha you've been sparring with for 4 years, and that dog man's face too. I can see their faces. The next day at the academy. The exam consists of 10 theoretical and practical questions. It consists of 2 phases of shuriken throwing, and 2 techniques that you will pass in another room. For the theory you have 45 minutes, start. Naruto looked at the questions and laughed mentally and began to write. 5 minutes passed. Iruka-sensei, I'm done. How? You're already done? Iruka was stunned. Let me check. The blonde brought his paper with the answers. After looking at it Iruka's eyes got like 5 rubles as everything was correct. Naruto, you surprise me, all the answers are correct. Iruka said, and the blonde looked at the faces of his classmates and mentally laughed at the faces of Uchiha and Inuzuka. The next paper was handed in by Uchiha with 9 out of 10 correct answers. No Kurama, you saw their faces, let's see what happens now. The shuriken throwing also received 10 out of 10, which also amazed everyone. Sasuke 9 out of 10. Okay, Naruto pulls out the technical input. Iruka said. Naruto took out the ticket and held it out to Iruka. Well, first, show us the cloning. Please. Naruto folded 2 fingers in the shape of a cross and then 15 clones appeared around him. I can make more, but I'm afraid there's not enough room in the classroom. Tell me, how many can you take out at the maximum? Iruka was amazed by his student's shadow clone. Believe me, if I tell you, you won't believe me. Uzumaki replied. Okay, show me the henge. Easy. Naruto became an exact replica of the fourth Hokage. It's amazing to become an exact replica of the previous Hokage after seeing him only once in a photo. Fine, show me the replacement. Iruka was getting more and more amazed by Naruto's abilities. As Naruto lay sprawled on a sheet, someone knocked on the window. Iruka looked up and saw Naruto. Unbelievable. Naruto, you passed with flying colors. Here's your protector, go to room 111 and wait for the others. Thank you. Naruto took the protector. He tied it on his forehead and went to room 111. After everyone gathered, Iruka announced that they had team assignments tomorrow and they were to be in the same auditorium at 9 o'clock. Chapter 5. Team number 7. Or a new friend. So, Class 1 will now announce the teams consisting of 3 genin and 1 jonin. So, team number 1. The young Uzumaki didn't keep listening but spoke to Kurama until he heard his name. Team 7 consists of Uzumaki Naruto, Haruno Sakura and Uchiha Sasuke, their mentor Hitaki Kakashi. Yeah, that's a dream team. So, what we have? 1 Uchiha Pompous Turkey, 2, a pink-haired underachiever who hangs around near the turkey, and 1 Hitaki Kakashi Hitaki. Kurama, do you know who that is? Naruto asked the fox in his subconscious. All I know is that he's your father's apprentice, nothing more. Okay. We'll see in my father's memories. An hour or so passed, all the teams had already parted ways with their mentors, and Hitaki was still a no-show. He's an interesting guy to have as a mentor, but he's been hanging around for like an hour already. I have to show him that I don't like to wait too long. With these thoughts, Naruto stood up and started folding the seals and then headed to the door and knocked on it. And what was it that you did? Sakura looked at the symbols trailing from the door. A gift for sensei, so he knows what it's like to make Uzumaki wait, especially me, the scarlet-haired one answered angrily. Naruto, you're serious, he's an experienced jonin, he won't get caught. Sakura got angry at his answer. Now we'll find out. Another 2 hours passed and the door began to open. The first thing that happened to the jonin was that many kunai and shurikens flew towards him. He wanted to dodge but realized that he was paralyzed, then he decided to use a substitute by doubling the seals in. Nothing happened, and then he was splashed by the water, and the kunai and shurikens stuck right next to him in a straight line. Everyone but Naruto was stunned. Backing up a bit, Sakura began to justify that it was all Naruto's fault and that she had nothing to do with it. In response, the scarlet-haired one said in a chilling voice, I don't like people who are late, Hitaki, that was a warning, next time you won't get off so easily. In Kakashi's mind, I suspected they would be angry, but not to this extent, especially with that Uzumaki, and that voice he has, it can't be that of a 12-year-old. The first impression is that I don't like you. Let's go up to the roof and get to know each other, Hitaki said and went up to the roof. I'll be waiting for you there, said the scarlet-haired man in a cold voice, and disappeared in a whirlwind of leaves. So introduce yourself. Tell us about your likes, dislikes, dreams, goals, said Kakashi as he and the 2 genin climbed up to the rooftop next to Naruto. Be an example for us. Sakura asked. My name is Hitaki Kakashi, a leaf jonin, what I like or don't care about you don't have to know, dreams and goals are none of your business. He didn't tell us anything but his name. Sakura was outraged. Kakashi Hitaki. Naruto started with his head down. Jonin of the Hidden Leaf, he liked to be late and read Jiraiya's books. He was in a team formed by Uchiha Obito, Rin Nohara, under Namikaze Minato. He lost a comrade Obito during the war. How? Kakashi and everyone else were dumbfounded. Do I know? Naruto finished, to which he nodded. It was at night, there was nothing to do, so I decided to sneak into the Anbu archives and study the files of the Jonin. Naruto lied. You snuck into the Anbu files and you weren't discovered. The team was even more surprised. Continued. The scarlet-haired man avoided answering. That's enough, tell me more about yourself, said Hitaki. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. There are few things I love and a sea of things I do not love. The dream does not concern you, and the goal is to find and kill an Uchiha and revive the clan, Scarlet Devils. Said the Jinchuriki. I wonder who exactly and how someone like you can kill one of our own. Sasuke scoffed. How? That doesn't concern you Uchiha, but who Kakashi Hatake I think you understand. The scarlet-haired one looked at Hatake, to which Hatake shook his head negatively. Don't you? All right then, said the hairless one. Scarlet Devils, who are they? Sakura asked, still surprised that she didn't know that much about her teammate. It's a nickname given to my clan. The distinctive of this clan was the scarlet hair, and in battle we fight until the last breath. If you want more information you can look in the library, still said the same cold voice of Uzumaki. We are getting off topic, let's get to know each other, suggested Hatake. You are the one with pink hair. My name is Sakura Haruno Love. Look at Sasuke Dream. Look at Sasuke. I see, now you're a brunette. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. There are few things I like and many things I don't. I don't dream, but there is a goal is to revive my clan, and kill a man. Said the brunette. Well, we have met, I'll wait for you tomorrow at 5 o'clock at the 7th shooting range. We will perform a test, do not be late, and I advise you not to eat, or you will vomit, said the ash-haired and disappeared in the smoke. So we share the same goals Sasuke, I understand you were talking about your brother. Asked Naruto. That's right, isn't it? You're right, but who do you hold a grudge against? Sasuke asked. Not here Sasuke, I'll wait for you in half an hour near the shooting range 15, said Naruto. In half an hour near the shooting range. Well Sasuke, here I am, let's go to the shooting range. Yes. After they entered the shooting range. Why did you decide to talk about this topic here? The Uchiha didn't understand. I found this training range about 5 years ago, since then I've been training here, and I've also fenced it with barriers, so no one can see or hear what's going on here, and no one can tell from the chakra. So you can communicate freely here without fear of being overheard. I see, how long have you been training? Let's say about 5 years. Have you trained anything other than taijutsu? I'll tell you something, I've trained in everything. If you want, I can train you in fire techniques. And how would you train me in them, without techniques? The Uchiha raised an eyebrow. Name any fire elemental technique and we'll see whose is more powerful. Let's say fireball. The brunette suggested. Okay, you go first. Watch and learn, said the Uchiha haughtily, and then he folded the seals and blew a 3x3 fireball. Not bad, now look here. Naruto folded the same seals and blew a 6x6 fireball. I won Sasuke. Very good. What techniques of the fire element do you know? Do you know them all, or the ones you can learn at the moment? Uzumaki asked. Let's go with the ones I can learn. Asked the brunette. Well look, the blonde began to fold the seals, and then shouted, Kaden, Phoenix Blossoms. About 15 fire projectiles flew from Naruto's side. Then Kato, fire bullets, Naruto's side received about 3 fire bullets. That's all for now, here are your scrolls, you can practice here. Who is the Uchiha that has been bothering you? I remembered why he's here. You know about the Kyuubi attack 12 years ago. Well, I know it has something to do with the Uchiha. So there was a masked man behind this attack, and apparently he was an Uchiha because he had a Sharingan. He had my parents killed and damaged your clan's reputation, so it hurt both of us. I offer you friendship and help. I will help you get revenge on Itachi, and you help me with this Uchiha, because if he was able to enslave Kyuubi, he must be incredibly powerful. Naruto explained. I agree. I agree. That's good, now let's get ready for Hataki's test tomorrow. Can you answer me one more question? Sasuke asked. Who were your parents? My mom was Kushina Uzumaki, by the way she was friends with your mom. She was nicknamed Bloody Havanese because of her fiery temper and scarlet hair, and my dad was Minato Namikaze, or the Yellow Thunderbolt of Konoha. So your father was the 4th Hokage. Sasuke was astonished. Yes. Now let's go train, Naruto suggested. Yeah, let's go. Chapter 6. Kakashi's Test. 5 o'clock. There are 3 genin sitting on the training field 7. Where is he? Sakura asked. I don't care where he is, but if he doesn't show up in half an hour, I'll put a chakra suppression seal on him for a month. Replied the scarlet-haired man who was already getting angry. Half an hour passed. Where the hell is he? Exploded the long-haired one. Sasuke, Let's go help him set traps. Sakura, you with us? And what are you going to do? Sakura asked, who was also tired of waiting for him. Ohoho, this is going to be fun. We'll put traps and seals that I'll give you. The scarlet-haired man handed her some sheets with explosion seals and suppression seals. You put these stamps all over the range. I'll take care of the paralysis seals and the vault, so you know we're not joking. Uzumaki smiled wickedly. And let him remember my mother in anger. And how did she meet your mother? Sasuke asked. She used to bring my father breakfast during his training sessions, and he had the misfortune of seeing her angry once. Wait, you said her mentor was Minato Namikaze. Wait, you're not saying he was your father? Sakura wondered. Sakura was, replied Sasuke. Yes, Sakura, my father was Namikaze Minato, the fourth Hokage of the Hidden Leaf. So that's why you became the fourth in the exam, Sakura guessed. Half an hour later, the traps were set. An hour later, he left. Hey Sasuke, Sakura, come here to eat, or something, or I feel like we won't wait for him until retirement. Laughed the scarlet-haired man. It had been an hour since breakfast. Sasuke, you become Obito. It looked like this, the red-haired girl became Obito, Sakura you become Rin. The hairless became Rin. And I am my father. We'll play a joke on him, but we'll do it during his test. Let's watch him try to do genjutsu and fail. It will be fun. After another hour, he deigned to come. Everyone. He was prevented from finishing by a swarm of metal flying at him, which he dodged, as Uzumaki created a clone and reincarnated, according to his father's memories, into his mother. While dodging, Kakashi fell into another trap. An explosion of seals and then another swarm of metal flying towards him, landing near the genin started a dialogue, and whose idea was that? Hitaki asked menacingly. Everyone pointed towards the bushes. He turned around and saw Kushina. Kakashi. Who taught you to be late? Said the fake Kushina with her hair parted in 9 strands. Kushina-san. Kakashi barely squeezed out an animalistic fear because he knew how she was when she was angry. If I find out you're late one more time, you're dead, got it? Shouted the fake Kushina. Yes. Hitaki spat out. I hope so. Naruto said, taking off his henge. Now let's move on to your test. Naruto. Kakashi was furious. So it was you. How else are you supposed to understand? I warned you that I don't like it when people are late. I warned you. And you're late again, and believe me, I won't be so nice next time. Naruto growled. Alright, the objective of the test is to get 2 of these bells from me. You have until noon, the one who fails will go to the academy. Now let's start. Hitaki shouted and took out a book. Alright team, let's go with the plan I'm going to explain to you now. I know what this test is, it's a teamwork test. My father did the same test for his team. So this is the plan. Kakashi was reading a book when Naruto suddenly appeared in the clearing. Are you going to attack head-on? That's very unwise of you. Kakashi commented without looking away from the book. Naruto started a taijutsu fight where Hitaki started to lose. He put the book away, but it didn't do much good. He kept it up, until he recognized the style with which the scarlet-haired one was attacking. It's Sensei's style, how do you know? Naruto, distracted, threw a chakra suppression seal at him and jumped back, bending the seals and spitting the fire dragon into the air, then disappearing. Kakashi, you couldn't protect Rin. Obito suddenly appeared in the clearing. Obito. Kakashi was dumbfounded. Are you alive? Why did you kill me, Kakashi? Rin stood next to Obito. Rin. Kakashi was even more surprised. I'm disappointed in you, Kakashi. Minato appeared in the clearing. Sensei. Kakashi fell to his knees. I'm sorry for disappointing you all. I couldn't. Why? I'm disappointed in you. They kept saying and getting closer to him. No. Kakashi shouted and closed his eyes. That's when the sound of his bells rang. It looks like we won, Kakashi-sensei. Said a happy Sakura. Kakashi opened his eyes and saw that Sakura was in front of him holding a bell and next to her were Sasuke and Naruto holding the same bell. It looks like Sakura, you were working as a team. That's why you passed, because comrades come first. As my friend said, in the shinobi world, those who break the rules are trash, and those who abandon their comrades are worse, but tell me whose plan was that? It was my plan, replied the scarlet-haired man. I realized from the beginning of the test that it was a test of our teamwork. Chapter 7. Mission in the Land of Waves. Team 7 had been doing D-ranked missions for a month. During that month, Sasuke had become good friends with Naruto, and had accepted him as a man who had experienced the same pain as him, all because of an incident. Flashback. In one of Sasuke and Naruto's training sessions. Naruto, you remember when you told Kakashi that you infiltrated the Anbu files? You lied, right? Yes, Sasuke, I lied. In fact, before entering the academy, I was beaten to such an extent that I lost consciousness and fell into unconsciousness. There I met Fox, warning your question. Yes, I have a seal on me. Well, we had a heart-to-heart talk, and I decided to try to remove the seal. When I touched it, my father took me away from her hand. Well, actually we talked a little, and he gave me his knowledge like that. I finished the story and the waves went through the barrier. Shit, the Anbu are breaking the barrier again, they won't let me train properly. End of flashback. During this month Naruto also improved his Fuinjutsu, improved his physical form, increased his movement speed, and sealing speed, and improved Sasuke's chakra control. Kakashi also stopped being late. Team number 7, today I'll give you a C-ranked mission. You have to escort the architect to the land of Olas. Tazuna-san, go ahead. And these brats are going to protect me. They are just kids, they need protection, especially that little redhead. I can kill you so no one will know how they killed you or what they killed you with, so choose your words. With a cold voice Naruto threatened, leaning his kunai on Tazuna's neck. Naruto, he should be protected, not killed. Kakashi tried to calm Naruto down. Okay sensei, when do we leave? Naruto arrived at the same place. In an hour at the main gate. Kakashi ordered. Yes, said the three of them. Naruto was heading home when suddenly someone called out to him. Naruto turned around and saw Sakura. What do you want, Sakura? I just wanted to ask you something. I'm listening to you. You and Sasuke trained together, right? Get to the point. Well, I was wondering if you could train me too, because I'm the weakest part of our team. Sakura blushed. Okay, I'll train you too. Thank you. An hour later, everyone was on their way. It was a hot day, it had been like 2 weeks since it hadn't rained, and then there was a puddle in the middle of the road. Kakashi realized it was a trap, but he didn't fall in, and Sasuke and Naruto also realized it. They passed the puddle and suddenly the demon brothers pounced on them, cutting Kakashi in half. They pounced on the bridge builder, but then 2 fireballs flew towards them. After dodging the attack, they noticed they were attacked by 2 genin and a fight broke out. 15 minutes later both brothers were chakra depleted and paralyzed. Hey Kakashi-sensei, you can come out now. Sasuke said and looked at Uzumaki with a smirk. Yes, Kakashi. Sensei, you can come out, there's nothing to be afraid of, the danger is over, said Naruto with the same smirk. Then Kakashi came out from the bushes. Everyone laughed. Is something wrong? Kakashi asked. No, it's just that you came out after what I told you. You have nothing to fear, the danger is over. Laughingly replied the scarlet-haired one. Yes, Tazuna-san, do you have something to tell us? Kakashi asked. Tazuna told them the whole situation. Yes, Kakashi-sensei, although he lied to us, but we have to continue with the mission, we need the combat experience after all. Uzumaki said. I agree. Sasuke supported his friend. Well, let's continue. They were walking through a clearing as a fog covered the clearing. After 15 minutes walking, Kakashi shouted, go down. A huge sword flew over their heads and stuck into a tree. On the sword was a Nukenin with its mouth bandaged like a mask. Well, who do we have here? The copycat ninja Kakashi Hatake, who copied over 1,000 techniques, genin over Uzumaki, they're expensive these days. Give me the bridge builder and I'll let you live. Momochi Zabuza. Blood Mist Demon. We have to decline your offer. Kakashi said, then added. Don't interfere, it's out of your reach, looks like I'll have to use it. Kakashi raised his shield and showed his Sharingan. What happened next was canonical. Sasuke, when I tell you, you will start throwing these kunai at him. Sakura, Keep an eye on the old man and cover Sasuke. He is one of the most important parts of this plan. I for my part will attack him with a technique I have been training for a long time." Naruto explained the plan. When they nodded, Naruto shouted, "Let's go." As the kunai flew towards Zabuza, he easily dodged them, and as the last kunai flew past his head he heard, "Rasengan." And then a blue ball of chakra hit him in the back. Kakashi's eyes widened as his sensei created this technique, and this technique is nothing less than a rank. How does he know? Zabuza flew out more than 20 meters away and the water prison was destroyed. When Kakashi came out, he walked towards Zabuza, deciding to leave the whole interrogation for later. Haku takes Zabuza away and Kakashi loses consciousness. 3 days later, Kakashi regained consciousness. During those 3 days, Naruto had trained Sakura in chakra control and also trained her in sealing scrolls. Sasuke had finished learning fire bullets. "Oh, you've finally come to your senses," said the brunette. "I'll go get the guys." When the team entered the room, the first thing Kakashi asked was where were they. At training, Naruto replied, "You didn't teach us anything, so I had to train my teammates." "What did you train them for?" Kakashi asked incredulously. "Sakura learned chakra control and sealing techniques, and Sasuke helped with fire techniques," answered the scarlet-haired one. "Who taught you Rasengan?" Kakashi asked sternly. "If I told you, you wouldn't believe me," replied the scarlet-haired man. "But still," Kakashi insisted. "You know whose son I am, don't you?" Naruto asked. "Now you're going to lie to me saying you don't know, because the Council of Elders has forbidden the dissemination of this information, but I've found out who they are, and believe me, it has nothing to do with the Anbu file." To say that Kakashi was surprised is an understatement. Who told you that?" Kakashi asked in a surprised voice, but the answer ended up killing him. "My father is the 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato, exactly 6 years ago." "You ask how?" He designed the seal so that when I'm about to break it." Warning your question, yes, I know about the 9 tails, but that's beside the point. That's when I met my father, he passed on all his knowledge to me. While Naruto was explaining to Hitaki, he looked at the genin. What caught his attention was that they didn't react. I see, judging by the fact that Sasuke and Sakura didn't react, they knew. Kakashi's verdict. Kakashi-sensei, do you realize that the Hokage, and especially the elders, can't know about this, about my meeting with my father, and especially about the knowledge? Don't worry, Naruto, I won't mention it in the report, because then I would betray Sensei's memory. Does anyone else know about it? Me, Kurama, Sasuke and Sakura. Now you. Who is Kurama? My first friend, who is the reason I met my father. Naruto explained with a smile, then took a pinch of chakra from the fox, making the stripes on his cheeks more visible. His hair parted into 9 strands and his pupil became vertical with a scarlet iris. I hope this makes it clearer who we're talking about. Did you subdue Kyuubi? Kakashi's astonishment is unrivaled. No one but Sasuke, you and Sakura know, and hopefully no one else does. The scarlet-haired one sighed. Tell me, why shouldn't the dome of your village know everything? Tazan asked, who had decided to listen to what they had been talking about all day. If they find out, not only will they put markers in my brain, but I won't be able to train properly and learn something. The scarlet-haired man replied. So, you're telling me that the Konoha Dome doesn't know about your training? Kakashi asked a surprised Kakashi. Kakashi-sensei, how would they know? The place where I train, I personally put barriers around it, so that no one from the Konoha Dome can break them. I am an Uzumaki, and we are Fuin masters, and I have also put barriers around my house. Kakashi was becoming more and more convinced that his student's record was a lie. What is your strength level? Kakashi asked. Believe me, Kakashi-sensei, he is much stronger than you. Sasuke replied. How do you know that? Kakashi asked dumbfounded. I've been training with him for about a month. Sasuke replied. 2 weeks passed. On the bridge stood 3 genin and their jonin mentor. On the opposite side of them were 2 nukenin, one with a huge sword on his back and the other with an Anbu mist mask. I see you have recovered from my Rasengan. Naruto said. They tried to kill me like that too, Uzumaki. Momochi replied. Kakashi-sensei, I'll take care of Zabuza, you take care of the other one, Sasuke. Sakura is your bridge builder." Everyone nodded and acknowledged Naruto as the second squad leader, even Sasuke. Naruto vs Zabuza. The fight started with a taijutsu in which the opponents were evenly matched. Zabuza used concealment in fog, to which Uzumaki folded the seals and whispered, "Fudo, burst." The technique blew the fog away. Momochi began to fold the next set of seals. Naruto, recognizing the seals, began to fold his. They finished at the same time and shouted, "Suiten, Kaden. Water dragon, fire dragon." The scarlet-haired man's technique dried the water dragon and moved on. Momochi raised a wall of water and stepped back, but a blonde man was already running towards him with two chakra-charged kunai, one lightning and the other wind. Momochi blocked with his sword, but then he heard a whisper, "Raiden. Reikiri." Flashback. A week after Kakashi's recovery. "Kakashi-sensei, can I ask you a question?" Naruto asked Kakashi, who had improved his relationship with him. "Sure, what's up? What's your element?" "Well, I can use everything but wind, but the main one is Raiden." "Why do you already know your element?" "I'll tell you more, I have 3 of them, and I know powerful techniques for each one, at least 3 techniques, except for Raiden. According to my father's memories, you invented the S-class technique." "Wow, 3 elements at such a young age." Kakashi was surprised. "Yes, I invented a technique, look." Kakashi folded the seals and shouted, "Raiden to Reikiri." Then his hand shone in lightning, and then the lightning melted into the shape of a sword and the chirping of 1,000 birds. "Can you show me?" the scarlet-haired man asked. "Of course." End of flashback. Naruto hit Zabuza with his Reikiri and he fell to his knees. "You are really strong, Uzumaki, can you fulfill my last request?" the dying Zabuza asked. "What kind of request?" the scarlet-haired one asked. "Take me to Haku's body and I will give you my sword in return," Zabuza said. "I will honor your request," said the red-haired man, and with his sword slung on his back, he put it on Zabuza's shoulder and carried him to Haku's body. Kakashi, seeing his student carrying Zabuza towards them, decided to ask, "What's going on?" "Kakashi-sensei, I'm fulfilling Zabuza's last request." The blonde carried the barely alive Zabuza over to Haku's body and laid him down beside him. "Forgive me, Haku," was the last thing Zabuza said. Before he died. "I knew he wouldn't make it." Cat and his bandits standing on the other side of the bridge said. Kakashi decided to attack, but the strong chakra depletion kicked in, and Uzumaki stepped forward. "Rest, Kakashi-sensei, I'll handle it, but in the meantime, here." Naruto held out the decapitator. "I wanted to try something." The scarlet-haired man pulled out a 3-bladed kunai. Kakashi's eyes widened in surprise. "Isn't that what I think it is?" Kakashi asked in disbelief. "Yes, Kakashi-sensei, the father technique. I'll take care of them in a jiffy." A single tear rolled down Naruto's cheek, and when the scarlet-haired one turned to Cat's army, Kakashi saw the silhouette of his master. Naruto turned to Cat and said, "Hey rabble. Have you heard about Konoha's yellow lightning?" "So what?" Cat asked. "He's been feeding worms underground for 12 years. Naruto threw the kunai in their direction and, bending the seal, shouted, "Shadow kunai technique." Now instead of a single kunai, about 200 flew towards them, but none hit. "Why did you guys remember the 4th one?" Tazuna asked Sasuke and Sakura, who had approached Kakashi with Sasuke and Sakura. Tazuna-san, just watch, now you'll see the cause of his father being nicknamed that. Kakashi replied. "Ha, little one, you're not the only one who didn't get hit." Army Cat laughed. "I hit what I was aiming at," replied the grinning hairless one, taking 2 more of the same kunai in a reverse grip and concentrating whispered, "Hiraishin no Jutsu." There was a rumble of thunder and the blonde disappeared in a flash of scarlet. Naruto teleported to the kunai next to him and killed them mercilessly. 20 were left. The scarlet lightning created a Rasengan and killed 5 more. 15, the blonde one created Reikiri and killed 5 more. 10, the scarlet-haired one picked up a katana and began to wield it. This continued until only Cat was left. "Please don't kill. Do you want money? I'll give you all the money you want, but don't kill me." Cat sobbed. "Kurama, do you think I'm ready for the Uzumaki chains?" asked Uzumaki to his friend. Yes, your body is ready for them, replied the fox. How nice, smiled the scarlet-haired one. Do you think you can buy justice? Your tyranny has reduced the country to misery, killed innocents, and you think money will help you? Laughed the scarlet-haired man. You are pathetic, Uzumaki said in an angry voice and added, Congo Fuso chains. In an instant, about 9 golden-colored chains appeared behind Naruto, one of which pierced Gato's heart. Those are Congo Fuso chains. Kakashi's astonishment was unparalleled. I've heard that they can only be awakened by female Uzumaki or Uzumaki related by blood to the clan chief. So Naruto is the last Uzumaki prince? Asked Sakura, who was surprised by her partner's abilities. It seems so, Sakura. The scarlet-haired man who had just arrived was leaning on a wakizashi taken from the battlefield. Is this the technique you've been working on? Sasuke asked, pointing to the kunai. Yes, Sasuke, answered Uzumaki sitting next to Hitaki. It is this one. Naruto, you realize that I have to tell the Hokage about the chains? Kakashi said in a serious tone. Kakashi-sensei, I can't answer you right now. Fighting Zabuza, Hiraishin and awakening the chains has taken too much chakra from me. Let's talk about it tomorrow, Scarlet suggested as he stood up, staggered and almost fell down, grabbing the handle of the decapitator. Kakashi-sensei, can you help me get to Tazuna-san's house? Sure, but what do you need a decapitator for? Hitaki asked. Zabuza gave it to me for taking it to Haku, replied Uzumaki. The next day. Naruto, you remember what I told you on the bridge, right? Asked Kakashi. That's right, and I also remember that you promised not to say anything about my conscience, but you can talk about the chains. Ah yes, about the Rasengan and Hiraishin too, please don't say anything. Just say it's good in emergency situations, good in shuriken jutsu and basic ninjutsu, and something about the chains too. Okay Naruto, I'll take your secret to my grave. I hope so, Kakashi-sensei. The scarlet-haired one replied. When the bridge was finished, Team 7 headed back to Konoha. They took the upper roads while Naruto made Sakura train in chakra control. Sakura, if you want to continue training, come to the 15th rank, and you Sensei Kakashi come too, maybe I will train you too. He added jokingly, the scarlet-haired one. Naruto, it's me who should teach you, not you me, Kakashi was offended. Kakashi-sensei, don't pout, I'm joking, but you were my father's apprentice and I need to talk to you about something. I'll be there, but how are you going to train them there? It's abandoned. Oh Kakashi-sensei, believe me, you'll be surprised when you go in, but no one goes in without Naruto's pass. Said Sasuke. And how do you get in? Sakura asked. He has my pass in the form of a seal for his passage, I will put it to you too, Sakura. Naruto, can I ask you a personal question? Sakura asked, curious to know a little more about her teammate. Go ahead. Why don't you trust the Hokage and his seniors? Well, for starters, they didn't tell me who my parents were. Secondly, they didn't tell me that I had a Kyuubi sealed inside me, and when I went to find out who my parents were, they didn't want to tell me. The only thing I found out was that my mother was an Uzumaki, and that's it. How am I supposed to trust them after that? Naruto asked. Can I have another one? Sakura asked as she walked away from the answer. Why are you so cold to everyone? I can see that you're not like that, are you? I've been hated since I was a child, I've been beaten, I've been called a demon, and I've never said a word. You tell me how I can be with that attitude. You three are the only ones I trust. No one said anything else. First of all, everyone but Kakashi was shocked at the reason for such coldness on the part of his teammate. Chapter 8, The Truth. When Team 7 returned to the village, the first thing they did was to go to the residence to hand in their mission report. I see, so the mission was 2 ranks above. Hokage concluded. Yes, the Hokage herself. Replied the ash-haired one. Well, here's your reward, you can be free, and you Kakashi stay. Said the third one. When the team left, the Hokage asked. How is Naruto feeling? Asked the third one. He showed a good result in taijutsu, also he is not confused on the battlefield, he mastered well the basic skills of shuriken jutsu and ninjutsu, answered a speech prepared in advance Kakashi. Did Kyuubi's chakra show any signs? The Hokage continued questioning. No, but you didn't tell me that he was the prince of the Uzumaki clan. Kakashi replied. But what do you mean? Hiruzen didn't understand. When Zabuza trapped me in the water prison, he got me out of it with the help of Kongo Fuso's chains. I learned that only girls of his clan can awaken them, and boys only if they are related by blood to the clan chief. Kakashi replied. Is that so? I see, so what do we do now, Kakashi? My suggestion is to give him the territory of the former Uzushio embassy. No one can get there anyway, because the barrier only allows the Uzumaki and those they pass through. That way you'll gain the boy's trust again, and if he doesn't give up his goal, the whole clan's. And what is his objective? Kage inquired. Kakashi's suggestion appealed to him. When I first met him, he said he wanted to rebuild his clan. Kakashi, do you think that if I tell him who his parents were he will trust me again? Hiruzen asked hopefully. You won't know until you try. At the same time, team number 7 left the dorm. Sasuke, Sakura, are you going to train today? The scarlet-haired one asked. I wanted to rest after traveling today, why? Sakura asked. I see, and you're Sasuke. I'm taking a break today. Uchiha replied. I see, Sakura follow me. Ordered the Uzumaki. Where to? Sakura asked. To the place where I train. You wanted me to train you, right? Asked the scarlet-haired one, to which she received a nod. You can't just walk in, that's why I need you. Later, near shooting range 15. It's abandoned, how do you train here? Said Sakura, looking at the training range. Give me your hand. Uzumaki ordered. Hey, Uzumaki, what are you up to? Sakura was furious. Just give me your hand and you'll find out. Sakura extended her hand and took it. Ready, now let's go to the shooting range. When they entered, Sakura had a view of a well-maintained driving range with a few trees, a small lake, targets and a small house at the end of the range. Beautiful. That's all Sakura could say. How did you do it? Because from the outside it looks completely abandoned. A cloaking barrier, no one can see or hear what's going on here, and I've also put up an acoustic barrier. Replied the Jinchuriki proudly. Now you can visit this place to train. There are scrolls with techniques in the house. Also with your control you can become an excellent Irionin. There are also Irioninjutsu scrolls there. Do you want to show me that house? Show it to me, I have to go there to get the scrolls. Sakura answered. They walked towards the house. Ladies first, said the scarlet-haired man. When Sakura entered, she was amazed at the size of the building. Wow, was all Sakura could say, for inside was a huge library. It's good to know the seals of expansion. Here are the techniques of the different elements and ranks, as well as the scrolls of Irioninjutsu, Shuriken Jutsu, Taijutsu, and many more. Uzumaki said proudly. Only you and Sasuke know this place. The seal on your wrist will not let anyone in except the bearer. Thank you for letting me train here. Sakura thanked. You can come back anytime, but I have somewhere to go. The scarlet-haired man left the training ground and headed towards the Anbu Root archives. After hiding his chakra and successfully entering the archive, he started to take S-class technique scrolls from there. When he saw a scroll with Uzumaki's seal on it, upon taking it the blonde noticed 2 folders with the inscription Uchiha and Jinchuriki case. Upon taking them Naruto sealed everything on the seal and successfully exited the archive. Back at home, Naruto decided to read the Uchiha case file, and with every line he read, Naruto realized that Sasuke must have known that he was making a mistake that he would regret for the rest of his life. He immediately sent the clone requesting a meeting at the range tonight at 7 p.m., and began to read the second one. As he read it his eyes filled with tears and his eyes changed their color to blue and a Sharingan pattern appeared, only instead of Tomo spirals in quantity of 3. That Danzo will pay for what he did. Pa of Sasuke. It was a difficult mission, I can't say anything about it, I think I'll take a break from training today. There was a knock at the door. I wondered who the demons would have brought. When I opened the door, I saw Naruto looking worried and serious. He wasn't his usual self. What's wrong, Naruto? The walls have ears tonight at the shooting range at 7 o'clock. So what was it that happened? I got serious. If you're saying that sentence it's classified. I'll put it to you this way. Crow whispered information about that night, he replied, and disappeared in a puff of smoke. Clearly a clone. Did he really get anything? End POV Sasuke. 1900. What was it that you found, Naruto? Sasuke asked with a serious countenance. By going to kill Itachi, you were about to make a mistake that you would blame yourself for the rest of your life. Naruto replied. What makes you think that? Sasuke asked. Here, read this. Naruto handed him the folder. The brunette took the folder and started reading. As he read, his eyes filled with tears, and at the end his eyes changed their color to scarlet with 3 tomo that began to twist, taking on the pattern of an atom. Do you understand now? Naruto asked. Yes. Thank you, Naruto. I almost made the most profound mistake of my life. That Danzo will answer me for what he did, shouted the brunette. You're welcome. He owes me a debt. Because of him my mother and father died. He was the one who told that Uchiha where my mother gave birth. By the way, congratulations on your Mangekyo Sharingan. I agree, my friend. Let's smash it together like our clans did during the First War. By the way, what happened to your eyes? The brunette asked. What's wrong with them? The scarlet-haired one didn't understand. They are light blue and have a drawing like the Sharingan, only instead of tomo spirals. Explained the boy with the Sharingan. I don't know. The blonde forced his eyes and saw his friend's chakra circulation system. Naruto's eyes widened. It looks like some kind of dojutsu like your Sharingan. Can Kakashi-sensei help? Sakura, who came to the afternoon training session because she was already rested. How long have you been here, Sakura? The brunette asked. I just arrived. I wanted to study the theory of Irionanjutsu, and suddenly I saw you standing there, so I decided to approach to see what's going on. Sakura explained. I'll go to Kakashi's house. Uzumaki put a hinge on his eyes, because no matter how hard he tried he couldn't deactivate them. Later at Kakashi's house, Kakashi was sitting reading his book when he heard a knock at the door. He went to the door and saw Naruto. Naruto, where have you been all day? Did the Hokage call you? Kakashi asked. At my training camp. Kakashi-sensei, may I come in? I have a question for you. The scarlet-haired man asked. Yes, of course you can come in. Kakashi was glad that he could do something to help his master's son. When they entered, Naruto put up a cloaking barrier and a listening barrier so no one could see or hear what they were talking about or what they were doing. If you're putting up barriers, it must be something serious, right? Kakashi understood. Yes, sensei, tell me, do you know what this dojutsu is? Naruto removed the hinge from his eyes. Kakashi was stunned. There was no way Kakashi could put together something understandable. You know about it? Kakashi nodded his head. It's a legendary dojutsu of the Uzumaki clan. According to legend, these eyes have Sharingan abilities as well as Byakugan. How did you awaken them? Never mind, can you help me master them? Of course. Then I'll wait for you tomorrow at range 15. Okay. Chapter 9. The Hokage's Truth. The beginning of the Chunin examination. The next day, the young prince decided to go first to see the Hokage, and find out what he wanted from him. Putting a hinge on his eyes, he went to the residence. Kurama mate, could you scan his emotions during the conversation just in case? Naruto asked in his subconscious. Okay, Naruto, replied the fox. Later at the dorm, Naruto walked to the door of the Hokage's office and knocked, and after saying, come in, he entered the office. The Hokage-sama was summoned. Naruto asked in a tone devoid of emotion, as he only showed his emotions in the presence of his team, and only when they were alone. I called you yesterday, Kakashi couldn't find you, where were you? At home, replied the blonde. You weren't at home, I was checking the training. You weren't at the range, stop lying to me. I'm not lying to you, I train where I can't be seen. Do you know why I called you? No. Remember when you asked me who your parents were? Well, have you finally decided to tell me who they are? The scarlet-haired man asked sarcastically. Your parents were Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. Also sealed inside you is a 9-tailed fox demon. Why didn't you say that before? Naruto asked with mock surprise. Do you have any idea what my life has been like? Naruto, I've wanted to tell you for a long time, but the council wouldn't let me. That's not all I wanted to tell you. Continued speaking the third one. And what is it about? The hairless one asked. You're the last member of the main branch of the Uzumaki clan, so you're the prince of the clan. And as prince, you automatically become the head of the clan. That's why I've convinced the council of elders to give you the grounds of the Uzushio embassy. Here are the keys to the main house, and one of the trusted men will escort you there. I see, said the blonde man. Is that all? I have to go train with the team. Yes, Naruto, you can go, said the third one, handing him the keys to the house. Oh, Naruto, my father asked me to give this to you personally before he died. Even the elders don't know. The third one handed him an envelope and a picture of his parents. Tossing a terse, thank you, the blonde turned to the 15. Kurama, how did it go emotionally? The Uzumaki boss asked on his way to the shooting range. Here is a baby, his emotions only cared about you and nothing else. So you can trust him. Thank you, my friend. You're welcome. As he approached the training ground, he saw Kakashi and his team standing there. Hey, Sasuke, Sakura. Why don't you come in? All right, Kakashi. Sensei, your barrier won't let you through, but you could have gone in a long time ago. Hey Naruto, we just got here and Kakashi-sensei was already here. So we kept him company. Sakura explained. Well, let's go then, shall we? Naruto, how do you train here, and how do you train Sasuke and Sakura? And where have you been? Didn't you tell me that you don't like people who are late? Kakashi asked. Well, first of all, when you come in you're in for a surprise. Secondly, I was at the Hokage's house to receive the clan's inheritance, that's why I was late. Naruto explained. The inheritance of the clan? Sakura asked. Ah, yes, you don't know that. At the moment I am not the public head of my clan, because I am the last representative of the Uzumaki clan, and because of this under my leadership went to the territory of the Uzushio embassy. Sasuke, you are also not the head of the Uchiha clan, since you are the last member of the Uchiha clan. Replied the brunette briefly, surprised that he had unknowingly struck up a good relationship between the Uchiha and Uzumaki clans. Let's go train, shall we? Kakashi suggested. Ah, sure, Kakashi-san, give me your hand, or you won't be able to get in so easily. Uzumaki ordered, and led Kakashi to the training field. Sasuke and Sakura also went to the training field. When Kakashi entered through the barrier he was, to say the least, amazed at the perfect state of the range. I'll be honest Naruto, I'm amazed at how you've restored it, and something about the structure at the end. The range wasn't here before. It's a library, only Sasuke and Sakura can go in there, and me of course, replied the scarlet-haired one. Sakura was studying the theory of Irionanjutsu, Sasuke was studying new fire and lightning techniques, and Naruto and Kakashi were studying their ice skills. Naruto learned the abilities of his eyes for a month, and also kept trying to find the key to the seal, but all to no avail, and at the same time he learned that, like his father, a part of his mother's chakra was sealed, and learned to use the decapitator. Sakura went on to practice Irionanjutsu, and a couple of Suiten techniques, and with the help of the clones Naruto took his taijutsu to a new level. Sasuke learned Great Fire Destruction, Reikiri, Black Panther and Fire Spiral. Naruto had also moved to live in the Uzumaki quarter, and had regained a good relationship with Hiruzen. And now they were all waiting for Kakashi on the bridge near the river. And there he was. Hello everyone. Hitaki called out loudly. Hello Kakashi-sensei, why did you call? The head of the Uzumaki clan called. I recommended you for the Chunin exam, seeing how you've been practicing I'm sure you'll pass it with no problem. Hitaki explained and handed them the applications. The Chunin exam, then. Naruto said with interest. It's a good opportunity to gain not only rank but also combat experience, what do you guys think? We need combat experience, so I fully support you. Sasuke said. How about you Sakura? Me too. After training with Naruto, I'm sure we'll pass. Sakura replied optimistically. Well, that's fine with me. Tomorrow near room 301 at 8 o'clock. Kakashi said and disappeared into the shunshin. Let's get ready, suggested the scarlet-haired one. Yes, Sakura replied. Then go to our training camp. I will go to the Hokage to ask him a question. Naruto replied and headed towards the residence. Pav Kakashi. You can be proud of your son, sensei. He reflected on his way home. Even after he knew the truth, he didn't take revenge on Konoha, and when he got that kind of power, he didn't brag about it, but started helping his teammates to improve, thus improving the trust among the team, and improving teamwork. He is the genius of this generation, and he is also kind to his friends. Hey, Kakashi, what's on your mind? Asuma asked me. I was thinking about one of my students. I replied with a smile. End Pav Kakashi. Naruto arrived at the Hokage's residence and went to the third's office. After knocking and allowing him entrance, he entered. Hello Hokage-sama. Naruto said hello. Oh Naruto, what's wrong? Hiruzen asked. You have to have a conversation without unnecessary ears. Naruto implied that it was a private conversation. Can you escort your ANBUs out and put up a barrier? Yes, of course. Hiruzen was glad to have regained Naruto's trust. He snapped his fingers and all the Anbu left the office before the Hokage folded the seals and the walls shook. What happened? The thing is that I have awakened the clan's dojutsu and I'm going to use it during the exam. Said the blonde and removed the henge from his eyes. I just don't know what they are called yet, maybe you can help me. To say that the Hokage was surprised is not saying anything. Naruto, I can tell you this, you can use them and they are called Uzugen. Does anyone else know about them? Hiruzen asked. Me, Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi-sensei, no one else. Uzumaki replied. I see, but can you deactivate them? The Hokage asked. That's the question, no. The scarlet-haired one replied. I see, Hiruzen replied. Can I go study for the exam? Asked the hairless man. Yes, you can go. The scarlet-haired man left and went to the training camp. The next day, the whole team went to the academy. When they arrived at Auditorium 301, they were greeted by Kurenai and Asuma's team. Oh, you're taking the exam too, so the whole class is here. Shikamaru said. I didn't expect to see you Shikamaru, you're lazy aren't you? Naruto joked. Ino made me do it. Shikamaru explained. Naruto, come down here, we have a conversation, you'll be interested. Came a voice in Naruto's head. Naruto descended into his subconscious. What's wrong Kurama? Inquired a serious Uzumaki. I can feel Uzumaki's chakra in this audience and it's clearly female. Are you telling me there are Uzumaki here? Naruto's eyes widened. I'm going to check it out right now. Naruto began to observe those present through his dojutsu. And he discovered something that astonished him. His eyes became like two saucers, even the henge had lowered and Sakura noticed it. Is there something wrong? Sakura asked. Sakura, you won't believe what I just found out. The scarlet-haired one exclaimed, to which the entire graduating class turned their attention towards him. Naruto-kun, what's wrong with your eyes? Hinata asked. Aren't I the last one you know, Sakura? I just noticed Uzumaki's chakra. Naruto rejoiced. Calm down Naruto, and answer the question you've been asked. Shikamaru replied. What's wrong with your eyes? It's my clan's dojutsu. I'm not going to say anything else. Uzumaki replied. By the way guys, do you know that Naruto is the last prince of the Uzumaki? Sakura was intrigued. Huh, that puny guy is the prince of the clan, who told you that? Kiba asked. Especially that there's no such thing as the Uzumaki clan. An eerie aura began to emanate from Naruto. Oh. Sakura said. You shouldn't have said that, Kiba. Repeat what you said about my clan. Naruto said in a deep voice, and for effect he took some of Kurama's chakra. His eyes changed their pupil to vertical and the spirals began to spin frantically. You do realize that you just insulted my clan, thus worsening relations with the neighboring clan, right? You're a clan demon, you made up your own story, that's all. Kiba retorted, and Naruto let out more ki, only this time Kurama's, but it was only directed at Kiba, something he regretted saying. Sakura, it seems that you are about to have practice in Irion ninjutsu. Sasuke said. It seems so, Sasuke-kun. Sakura replied. Everyone to your places. I am Morino Ibiki, your examiner for this stage, said the examiner. In this stage you have a written stage consisting of 10 questions, 9 of which you will answer now, and 10 will be later. For everything you have 45 minutes to start with. After 15 minutes Naruto finished in using the Hiraishin mark kunai, which he had given to Sasuke and Sakura before the exam. He gave the answers to Sasuke and Sakura and tried to use his eye ability, one of the abilities to control his chakra or someone else's and transfer his chakra to another, to put a Hiraishin mark on that Uzumaki, which he had put so that in case any danger came to him he would point to the one who had put it there. Half an hour later. Time's up. It's time for question 10, but before you ask it, are you sure you want to answer it? Those who don't think they are ready to answer it can leave the auditorium and try again next year, and those who stay and don't answer will lose the chance to become a chunin forever. Explained Ibiki and began to release the key. When most had already left, Naruto exclaimed. Ibiki-san, who does that? Look how it's done. Naruto released almost all of Kurama's ki directed at everyone present except for Uzumaki and his teammates. Almost all the teams and Chunin rushed out of the audience, and Kiba and Akamaru's self-preservation instincts just started screaming, but they stayed. Well, everyone who stayed has passed. Ibiki said. How did they pass? And the 10th question. It's a test of your endurance and how you can extract information. A glass shatters and a banner waves welcoming the second phase and a girl in revealing clothes and a desert-colored cloak appears. 22 teams, yes, well done Ibiki. Hello everyone, I am Mitarashi Anko, the examiner for the second phase of the Chunin exam. Follow me all the way to field 44, said the examiner. When she started to explain, she noticed that Naruto didn't hear her, so she threw a kunai at him. But it immediately disappeared in a thunder, only a red flash remained of it. A thunder sounded and Anko felt something cold on her neck. I think you are not allowed to throw weapons at genin. Naruto said and released ki. Yeah, you're right. Anko swallowed saliva. When Team 7 signed the papers and received the scroll, it was sky, all the teams dispersed to their starting positions. Chapter 10. Forest of Death. Pa of Naruto. After the signal we set off. After walking a few meters I ordered to stop and gather in a circle. They will use henge to mine the scrolls anyway, so I suggest we come up with a password I suggested. That's a good idea, but what's the password? Sasuke asked. The password will be my first friend's real name. I hinted to them, good thing they understood who we were talking about. We continued on our way. 15 minutes later, I felt a surge of chakra from the mark put on that Uzumaki, so I said, I have to leave immediately, clan business. I warned and disappeared in a crackle of thunder. Appearing in the tree next to her, I noticed that her companions wanted to use her. I took some of Kurama's chakra and jumped behind them with a decapitator in hand. I give you 3 seconds to take your hands off her or you will be responsible. I said in a chilling voice. End Pa of Naruto. Pa of Karen. After entering the training ground we walked further into the forest. I wondered what was that chakra I felt during the first stage, it was so similar to mine. We walked for another 15 minutes while my companions stopped and attacked me with lewd intentions. I defended myself as best I could. Suddenly I felt a surge of familiar chakra, and a couple of seconds later a thunderclap was heard, and a couple of seconds after that I heard a voice. I'll give you 3 seconds to take your hands off him, otherwise kick yourself. The voice was drenched in anger directed at them. Huh, what are you going to do to us? Sean asked. Do you want to check it out? Asked the stranger in the same voice. Okay, we'll deal with you guys first and then her. Ken said. A fight broke out. End Pa of Karen. Sean and Ken attacked Naruto using taijutsu where he dominated. Then came Kenjutsu attacks, where Naruto just crushed their blocks with his decapitator. After a few minutes Sean's head flew off his shoulders. Ken seeing this went into ninjutsu and bending his seals shouted, Doden, stone spikes. Naruto dodged all the spikes while sealing the decapitator and doubling the seals he shouted, Raiden, Black Panther. A panther flew towards Ken, which he dodged but collided with the decapitator and died. Those things. Naruto said and started walking towards Karen, who was sitting there looking at him in fear. Pa of Karen. Oh my god, it's just a monster took care of them without even blinking, oh no it's coming towards me. Please don't hurt me. I cried. Don't worry, I won't hurt you, he said with a voice full of affection and kindness, and he hugged me a little, with the intention of calming me down, which made me cry even more. No one had ever treated me so well. Hush, hush, I won't hurt you, he said in the same voice, sitting next to me. What is your name? Karen. Uzumaki Karen. I answered a little calmly. He looked at me, and then touched some drawing on his hand and immediately smoke appeared in his hands, and when it disappeared, he had clothes in his hands. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, I am the last representative of the main branch of our clan, take the clothes, yours just got torn by those things. He said and handed me the clothes. It was a black tracksuit with red stripes on the sides and a swirl sign on the back. Thank you, I replied. Somehow I felt safe next to him, and he stepped back, giving me a chance to change, which I took advantage of. You know, it looks great on you, he said with a kind smile. Thank you. You are welcome. How are you feeling, and who did this to you? He asked, pointing to the scars on his arms. I have a special healing chakra that, mixed with blood, can heal, so they used me as a battery, like my mother used to do. I explained sadly. Let me guess, you were forced to heal people. Yes, you're right, they used to force me, just like my mother, until she died, and then they started to force me too. I said in tears. He, seeing that I was starting to cry alone, hugged me again letting me cry in his suit. Hush, hush, no one will make you do it again. He started to calm me down, and with his last words he surprised me. What do you mean? I asked him in surprise. Wouldn't you like to return to our clan? What happens is that I want to restore my clan. Until today I thought that I was the last representative, but it turned out that there is another Uzumaki. So as the head of the clan I can take my clanmates and the village heads have no right to interfere with me, and if they try, they will die. He explained. Gladly, no one is waiting for me on the grass anyway. I do not know when, but I liked him. Well then, let me stamp and print you after the exam. Don't worry, I've done it before and more than once. What do I have to do? I asked. Just hold still. Naruto replied preparing a scroll. Then stand in the middle of the scroll and don't move. Karen did as he said, and after a long series of seals, Naruto was the only one left in the clearing. There was a clap of thunder and Uzumaki was standing next to Sakura and Sasuke. Are we going to the tower? Naruto asked. What about the scrolls? Sakura asked, to which I smiled and showed an earth scroll. By the way, Naruto, what's that about the clan? Sakura asked. Remember I told you about another Uzumaki? She nodded her head. So during the first stage one placed the seal of the thunder god on him. Don't ask me how I did it. I placed this seal so that in case of danger it sends a surge of chakra that only I can feel. So after I feel the surge, I move to his side and I see this image of his teammates. I want to use it. It's horrible, said a surprised Sakura. I can already imagine what you did to them. It's nothing, but one of them now has no head, and the other is not even a child. Naruto smiled. Now it's on my scroll. After the examination I'll take it to the Hokage and register it as a resident of this village and a representative of the clan. I see. From there, everything went according to canon, until Sasuke's bite. Orochimaru bites Sasuke and Sasuke falls unconscious. Oh, I see you've come to your senses Naruto-kun, he'll come to me for strength. Orochimaru hissed. Orochimaru, I know who my parents are, and when I visited the root archives I found your file, and there I read that you did genetic research, and that you got your new Kenin status thanks to Danzo, am I right? Yes, Naruto, you're right, what do you plan to do with this information? Orochimaru asked surprised. There are Orochimaru's ears everywhere, so. Naruto said and folded a long series of seals and touched the ground. I would like to ask you to be my teacher, because I, like you, do everything for the village and I need the knowledge you have for a purpose. You are the second person who wanted to become my student voluntarily, you will be contacted after the exam. Orochimaru said and left them. Battlefield. Naruto approached the teammates. He created a clone, which raised Sakura, and the original Sasuke went to look for shelter, For the night, finding it he raised a barrier and descended into unconsciousness. Hey buddy, what do you want? What do you do and why do you want to become his disciple? Asked the fox. Well, first of all, I want to do a trick with my mother's chakra when I open the cage, and for that I need her knowledge. Secondly, it's a snake Sanin, you remember who I have a contract with, right? Naruto asked. Flashback 2 months ago. Kurama, buddy, what do you think my summoning animal is? Naruto asked during one of his training sessions. I don't know, try reverse summoning. The fox replied. Naruto folded the seals and shouted, reverse summon. Naruto appeared in a huge cave where a huge white snake sat. How did you get here, human? Hissed the snake. Hello, my name is Uzumaki Naruto, I got here using the callback. I see, so you have a predisposition to our area, you are in the sacred cave Ryachido. My name is Hakuja Senin. Nice to meet you Hakuja-san, can I sign a contract with your people? If you pass the 3 tests, our tribe will sign the contract, but if not, we will eat you and absorb your chakra, but judging by the fact that you have predisposition to our tribe, which is very rare, you will fight against one of our tribe, and if you win, we will sign, if not, you know what we will do, so are you ready? I'm ready. Good, Manda. What do you want, Hakuja-sama? To test this guy's strength. Yes, Hakuja-sama. A fight broke out between Manda and Naruto. The fight was short. When Manda attacked Naruto, he created a clone that distracted the snake and then simply chained him with Kongo Fuso. Enough. Hakuja-sanin said. Hakuja-sama, I hope I have demonstrated my strength. Uzumaki inquired. You have not only demonstrated your strength, but also your cunning and intelligence, so you can sign a contract with us. It is my honor to be the summoner of the snake tribe. Naruto bowed, then bit his finger and signed the scroll. Would you like to learn our fighting style in the Sanin way? Inquired the wise snake. I want to, but I don't think my body is ready for it. Replied the scarlet-haired man. Well, you have a good idea, as soon as your body is ready you can come and train, and now you can go back. Goodbye, Hakuja-sama. End of flashback. Of course I remember, it still amazes me how you quickly finished off the second strongest snake. The next day, Sakura came too, and towards dusk, Sasuke did too. Naruto broke Sasuke's seal, after which the latter slept with depleted chakra until morning. After waking the Uchiha, they headed towards the tower. Chapter 11. Qualifying matches and meeting with Jiraiya. My name is Gekko Hayate, I am the examiner for the next phase, but we will do preliminaries first since too many teams have passed. You can use what you have. You can quit the exam now if you don't feel well. I guess I won't participate. Kabuto said and left the arena. Well, if that's all, the first match will be between Sabaku no Tamari and Tenten. Those named stay and the rest go up to the balcony. Let's begin, ordered the examiner and stepped back. The winner is Sabaku no Tamari, the next match is Shikamaru Nara against Tsuchi-kin. Winner Shikamaru Nara, next bout Uzumaki Naruto vs. Inuzuka Kiba. Try not to kill him. Kakashi asked. He insulted my clan Kakashi-sensei, so I can't promise you anything, and can you keep this scroll? What does it contain? Kakashi asked. I'm sorry, but I can't tell you. It's something private. And please don't open it. Naruto replied. Okay. Kakashi said and took the scroll. Naruto went down to the arena where Kiba was already standing. Naruto, you better surrender right away, I don't want to kill you. Kiba sneered. Examiner, call the medics, as I'm not about to give in to this backyard mutt, especially not after insulting my clan. Meanwhile, in the stands, Kakashi was accosted by Kurenai. Don't worry about your student, Kiba is stronger than him. Kurenai, the one who should worry is Kiba, because Naruto will fight for the honor of his clan now that Kiba has insulted his clan. And believe me, Naruto will not stay at the ceremony. Meanwhile, in the arena. You're going to need a doctor, you clanless upstart. Kiba replied. Bleachers. Oh. Sakura, who was standing next to Kakashi, said. Kiba is dead. You do realize that you're only making things worse for him and the clan by treating him like this, don't you? Sasuke asked Kakashi. Apparently not. Hitaki replied. What does this have to do with our clan? Only Sume Inuzuka, who had just arrived, asked. Kiba's mother, who was also the clan leader. Naruto is the unofficial head, up to the rank of Jonin, of the Uzumaki clan. And by his words, he is ruining relations with his clan. I'm afraid, Honorable Sume, that you will have trouble with his clan because of his words. It just hasn't been announced yet. Kiba, if you ever say anything bad about Naruto again, I will personally kill you. Arena. Mom, he doesn't have a clan. Kiba shouted. Examiner, you may announce the start of the match. It begins. Kiba flew towards Uzumaki and unleashed a taijutsu match where Uzumaki dominated. Naruto bounced off Kiba, bending the seal, saying, Kaden, great fire destruction. A huge wave of fire flew towards Kiba, which he barely dodged, but the wind blades were already flying towards him. He was left gasping for breath. What's the matter, dog man? You're already exhausted. I'm just warming up. Uzumaki clan's secret technique, Kongo Fuso chains. 9 golden-colored chains appeared behind Naruto. One of them flew towards Kiba, but he dodged it. This won't help you. Kiba shouted and gave some kind of pill to Akamaru and shouted, Gatsuga. And hit Naruto. When the dust settled, he wasn't there anymore. Is that all? Said Uzumaki, disappointed, and wrapped a chain around Kiba's neck and lifted him off the ground and threw him against the wall, knocking him unconscious. The winner is Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto went up to the stands where Kakashi and Sume were waiting for him. Naruto-san apologizes for my son's words. Sume bowed to him. Apology accepted, but if he slanders my clan again, I will have to kill him, understood? Yes, Uzumaki-san. Kakashi-sensei, can I have my scroll? Yes, of course, here you go. Kakashi handed him the scroll. But tell me, what does it contain? It's an addition to my clan, so to speak. So you're saying that you can seal the living in scrolls? Kakashi, Asuma, Kurenai and Sume were stunned. I'm an Uzumaki, and we are masters in Fuinjutsu. He replied with a smile. And by the way, why all of a sudden Naruto-san? You are the prince and head of the Uzumaki clan. Sume replied, I told the Hokage not to tell. The prince got angry and his hair split into 9 strands. Now there's a lot of trouble, I said. Kakashi replied. The Hokage has nothing to do with this. Oh well, what's done is done, but please don't let anyone know. You realize that if this information gets out, I won't be able to leave the clan. We understand. The juniors understood what we are talking about. Well, let's watch the matches, honorable representatives of the clan. Uzumaki smiled, to which everyone laughed. Arena. The next match is Hinata Hyuga vs Neji Hyuga. The winner is Neji Hyuga. The next bout is Uchiha Sasuke vs Akato Yoroi. The winner of Uchiha Sasuke, Sakura Haruno vs Ino Yamanaka. Are you prepared to lose? Ino asked. Oh, I didn't know the pig could talk. Here we go, shouted the examiner. The fight started in taijutsu where Sakura, due to her training with Naruto, dominated Ino. Ino tried to control Sakura with a mind transfer technique, but Sakura used the seal that Naruto had given her, and when her mind went back to Ino, she simply knocked her out. Winner Sakura Haruno. Next match Rock Lee vs Sabaku no Gaara. Winner Gaara. Aburame Shino's next fight is against Kankuro. Winner Shino. Uchiha Sasuke, Sakura Haruno, Uzumaki Naruto, Hyuga Neji, Sabaku no Tamari, Nara Shikamaru and Sabaku no Gaara enter the arena. After those named came out, they were announced the pairings for the 3rd round of the exam and that they had a month to prepare. Sasuke, Sakura, today we will rest and tomorrow we will train. Tell Kakashi to stay away from the training ground today, okay? Naruto asked, folding the seals of the Thunder God. They both answered and left the training ground. Naruto just teleported. Naruto was on his way to the Hokage to settle the matter about Karen. As he passed by the bathhouse, he noticed a white-haired man spying on the women. From his father's memories he realized it was Jiraiya, his godfather. Hey girls, sorry to interrupt your grooming, but hear me out. As a member of a clan that respects ladies, there's an old pervert watching you right now, so I suggest you cover your most intimate parts. I shouted so the girls in the bathhouse could hear me, and it worked. After a few seconds Jiraiya was running away from the angry ladies, and I bowed to the female representatives and received their gratitude. I headed to the residence, went up to the Hokage's office and knocked. After permission to enter, I entered the office, and I see that next to the Hokage is Jiraiya with black eyes. "Hello Hokage-sama, and hello to you, old pervert." I said hello. "Do you even know who I am, kid?" Jiraiya looked indignant. "Well, and why wouldn't I know? You're one of the 3 Sannin of Konoha, the Toad Hermit of Mount Myoboku, Jiraiya, former apprentice to the 3rd Hokage, and writer of Ika Ika books. Wild pervert, my father's teacher, and also my godfather. So you're Naruto." Jiraiya was taken aback. "Yes, I am Naruto, the Hokage himself. May I speak with you in private?" Of course, Naruto, the Hokage snapped his fingers and all the Anbu left the office. "What happened?" "You'll have to excuse the Hokage herself, but I'm not going to argue with a man who insults women with his books and his looks, simply because I don't like those people, and I don't trust him at all, even if he is my godfather. Jiraiya, please leave." Jiraiya quietly left the office, and Naruto put up a barrier against eavesdropping. "Hokage-sama, I have 2 questions for you. 1, I'm going to leave the village for a month to train, and 2, can you register a new member of my clan as a Konoha shinobi?" Naruto pulled out a scroll, opened it on the floor and unsealed it for Karen. To say the Hokage was shocked would be an understatement. "Naruto, do you know Fuin well enough to seal the living?" The Hokage's astonishment was unrivaled. "I am an Uzumaki, and we are masters at it," I explained with a smile. "This is Karen Uzumaki. She's a former grass shinobi, no one expects her at home anyway, her parents are dead, and for the rest of us, she was used as a battery, so I took her, offering to bring her back to the clan, to which she agreed. Well Naruto, I will register her as a shinobi of Konoha, come back tomorrow for the paperwork, but in the meantime show her the village, and about the first question, why do you want to leave the village? I'm going to train somewhere, so I'll have to leave the village. I see, well then you have my permission, you can be free for now. Ah yes, I forgot, can you give me back my parents' inheritance? Sorry Naruto, but I gave it to you along with the 4th Uzumaki, so look for it there. And for the money, you go to the bank with this sheet and they will give it to you. Okay, come on Karen, I'll show you around the village and then we'll go to the neighborhood to choose a house for you. Karen was happy to have a family, even if it was just one person. As they left the dorm they heard a voice. Hey, Naruto, wait. Jiraiya called out to him. What else do you want? Naruto asked. I'd like to apologize and offer you training. What is it that you want to teach me? Well, for starters, I wanted to teach you how to summon toads. You're not interested, I've already made a contract with those who predispose me. And to whom? Asked Jiraiya. Naruto folded the seals and then shouted, summoning technique. A light brown snake the size of Naruto appeared from the cloud. Summoned, Naruto-sama. He hissed. Hello Aoda, how are you? Wonderful, my lord, oh I see you have found the representative of your clan. What is your name child? Aoda asked. Karen Uzumaki replied. It's a pleasure to meet you Karen, my name is Aoda and I'm your partner's personal summoner. Oh I see Jiraiya is here, the hermit of Mount Myoboku. Yes, Aoda, and he's a pervert too, well I won't keep you any longer, see you soon, say hello to Manda-sama and a big bow to Hakuja-sama. Yes, my lord. The snake disappeared in the smoke. Are you sure? Naruto asked looking at Yajiraiya. Yes. How about this? Jiraiya created a Rasengan. Again I'm not interested. Naruto created the same one. I hope you won't keep me any longer. I'm actually in the middle of something. I'll forgive you when you stop being a pervert. Until then, please don't touch me, let's go Karen-chan, we have a lot to do. Naruto said and taking her by the hand he led her away. Yeah, I didn't expect that from him. Jiraiya thought. What happened to you Naruto? I'll have to ask Hiruzen. Jiraiya headed to the Hokage's office. Hello again sensei, tell me, what happened to Naruto? What made him so withdrawn? 6 years ago he was attacked and beaten unconscious, he didn't wake up for more than 2 days, but when he did, he escaped from the hospital and went to the shooting range. He spent a month doing physical training, and then he opened a chakra chamber. After he opened it, my fighters lost the ability to follow him. What do you mean they lost the ability to follow him? Jiraiya didn't understand. He had erected barriers on the former 15th range, and then on his floor, and no matter how hard we tried to break the barriers, we couldn't. I don't know who trained him, but in the academy he showed a high level of taijutsu, and he fought in his father's style, and I still don't know where he learned it. He studied in other areas just to pass, and in the exam he showed a level like Minato and everything. Not only that, but he was reincarnated into him when he had to show reincarnation, and instead of the standard illusionary clones, he showed shadow clones, so I don't know what his power level is. Kakashi told me that he was able to awaken the Congo chains of Fuso in a mission in Wave Country, which indicates that he was the last prince of the clan and had perfect chakra control. That is all the information I have about him. Yes, after your conversation I went to apologize to him, and as an apology I offered to train him in summoning, to which he replied that he had already signed it, and the best thing is that he had already signed it, and the best thing is that he had also signed it, just as I did with reverse summoning. And now do you know who he is predisposed to? To the snakes. Hiruzen's eyes widened at these words, but that's not the weirdest thing. I offered to teach him his father's technique, the Rasengan, to which he created a Rasengan in a matter of seconds. Even Minato was slower. Meanwhile Naruto and Karen were strolling around the village and chatting about what they each liked. "Karen, are you by any chance hungry?" asked the scarlet-haired one. "No, I'm not." Karen started to object, and her stomach growled. "Let's go eat," Uzumaki said and took her to Ichiraku. "Hello Tsuki-san," Ayame-sama said the scarlet-haired one. "Oh Naruto, hello. Ah, and who is this lovely lady?" Tsuki inquired. "Tsuki-san, meet Karen, Uzumaki Karen," Naruto introduced the girl. "Tsuki, I'll have a bowl of pork." Karen, "Order whatever you want and don't be shy, it's on me." "I'll have a bowl of pork too, please," Karen said. "We'll prepare it right away." After eating and paying for the food, they went for a walk. "I guess you don't have any clothes, let's go buy you some clothes." "Uh-huh," Karen replied modestly. After buying Karen new clothes, Naruto created a clone and sent it with Karen's things to the Uzumaki neighborhood, and went with Karen to the Hokage's mountain. It was already night, and they watched the sunset. "Thank you Naruto-kun." Suddenly the girl interrupted the silence. "Why?" Naruto-kun asked. "For taking me out of that hell, for taking care of me, for everything in general." Karen replied, blushing at that. "What kind of clan leader would I be if I let them bully my clanmate?" Uzumaki replied and then fell silent, thinking about something. "Karen, although we've known each other for a short time, but I can say that I've already managed to love you. You're the prettiest of all the girls I know, the kindest and nicest girl. I understand that you might not like it and all, but let's go out, huh?" said the boy, blushing. Karen couldn't believe her ears. The boy who saved her from bullying and then sheltered her, who was finally starting to like her, was confessing his love and asking her out. Tears came to Karen's eyes, which did not escape the young head. "Karen, are you okay?" Naruto asked worriedly. "Why are you crying?" "It's okay, I like you too, I accept your proposal," said Karen, red as a ripe tomato. Then they headed to the clan's neighborhood. "Choose any house Karen, they are all empty, or if you want you can stay with me. My house is not small, so there is plenty of room," said the boy. Can I come with you please? It's just that when I lived in the grass I was alone and I was often bullied in my own house," Karen explained sadly and blushing. "Well then let's show you around the house and your room," called Karen with a smile. When they arrived at the house, to say that Karen was surprised would be an understatement. The house was beautifully decorated, with a large garden and a small range. "Do you live here?" Karen was amazed. "Well, come on, let's go inside, I'll show you the house and your room, your new clothes are already there." When they entered the house, Karen was even more amazed by its beauty. Pictures and clan posters hung everywhere. When Naruto led her to her room she was amazed at how cozy it was. It had everything she needed, a well-made closet, a huge double bed with things neatly folded on top, a bedside table, again a poster of the swirl poster, and a bedside table with a mirror. There was also a window overlooking the beautiful garden. Well, make yourself comfortable. If you need the bathroom, it's the door to the left, to the right is my room, and I'll put the kettle on. Karen nodded her head. Later in the kitchen, Naruto put the kettle on and started to take out the goodies and put them on the table. When the kettle boiled, the boy made tea and put it on the table too. "Karen, come downstairs for tea," shouted the scarlet-haired man. When Karen came down, she had wet hair and was wearing purple pajamas with black embroidery. Naruto saw her and looked at her so much that he dropped his saucer and it shattered. Karen was embarrassed to see his expression. "How did it go?" Karen asked, blushing. "I'll be honest with you, you're the prettiest I've ever seen, and these pajamas are in perfect harmony with your scarlet eyes, which I've been drowning in since the moment I saw you," replied the boy, blushing. "Thank you." Karen covered herself with blushes. After afternoon tea, they went to their rooms. Naruto got up at 7, washed his face and went to the kitchen to prepare breakfast for him and Karen. Breakfast was scrambled eggs and salad. Karen's paw. "I woke up in a room I didn't know, but remembering yesterday's events I calmed down and headed to the bathroom. After washing I went to my room to change. When I got changed I was about to go downstairs when suddenly I heard a knock at the door. When I opened it I saw Naruto dressed in a tight white t-shirt. God, he had a fit body. "Good morning Karen, come down to the kitchen, breakfast is ready." He smiled sweetly. God, what a kind smile he had. The breakfast was delicious. I didn't expect him to be such a good cook. "Karen, what do you think about practicing today?" she asked me. "Can we?" I asked hopefully, to which he smiled and said, "Sure, then finish eating and let's go to the place where I train my team and train myself." "Doesn't your sensei train you?" I asked. "Why not? He trains us in techniques that I can't find in the scrolls of the Anbu archive, where I copied more than half of the file," he replied, which surprised me. "Does the Hokage know anything about this?" I asked, but the answer surprised me. "The Hokage only knows that I possess excellent taijutsu, basic academy knowledge, master-level fuinjutsu, which you tested during the second stage, and after yesterday's draft in the Rasengan and Kongo Fuso chains, but he doesn't know anything else. And he doesn't know that either. Now let's go to the range." Karen's end paw. Naruto and Karen arrived at range 15. "How are you training here, and with all the equipment, it's abandoned? Let's go inside and you'll see everything." She was reassured by the scarlet-haired guy. When they entered, Karen was shocked by the sights. "It's beautiful," was all Karen could say. "What you saw when we arrived is what it looked like when I found it, but thanks to a couple of wind and fire techniques, I've restored and improved it. By the way, now you can always come here. I have put a Heim seal on you." The meaning of the seal is that it allows the wearer to fully use this field, except for removing seals from the field and taking items out. Now you can use this field at any time, including the library. "Does anyone else have such a seal?" Karen asked. "No, just you. How do your classmates train here? Did they use the library?" "I have given them seals, comrade." "And your sensei?" "He has a guest seal." "I see. Now, Karen-chan, let's start training. I will train you during this week, but at the end of this period, I will leave the village before the final stage." "Where are you going?" said Sasuke, who had just arrived. "Oh, you are not alone here. Let me know your name, young lady." "My name is Uchiha Sasuke. I am Naruto's best friend, and just like him I am unofficially the head of the Uchiha clan. My name is Uzumaki Karen. I am one of the last surviving members of the clan." Karen replied. "I'm glad to meet another member of my friend's clan. Now answer my question, Naruto." Sasuke said. "I'm going to train somewhere, but don't worry, I'll be back by the time my fight with Hyuga starts. Now excuse me Sasuke, but I have to talk to Karen and start training." "It's okay my friend." Sasuke replied and went to the library. "Okay Karen, let's improve your chakra control and then we'll move on to techniques." "Okay." During the week Naruto trained Karen. During that week, Naruto greatly increased Karen's chakra control, taught her the shadow clone technique, learned her element. They were two, fire and wind. Karen learned a couple of fire techniques, namely Fire Ball and Phoenix Blossoms, and of the wind element, Wind Blast and Wind Blade, and it was time for Naruto to leave the village. Karen, you can visit the library of the training camp whenever you want. There are many techniques of different elements and ranks, and also I have a request, you are going to see the final stage, right? She nodded, so I want to arrange a beautiful outing and reveal that I am the son of the fourth. And I will do it with the technique for which he was nicknamed the Yellow Lightning of Konoha. By the way, thanks to this technique I saved you. All you have to do is throw this kunai, and then I will appear and announce, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze Uzumaki has arrived for the final stage. Do you think they will believe you if you show this technique? You do realize that any shinobi can learn it, don't you? Karen asked. Believe me, this technique is so complicated that not everyone can learn it. It was invented by the second Hokage, and my father has refined and complicated the theory so much that only his son can learn it, which is me, so let's see their faces and have a few laughs with that. Naruto handed Karen a 3-petal kunai with a red hilt. Okay, I'll do what I have to do. Karen took the kunai. Thank you. I'll miss you. With those words, Naruto folded the summoning seals and said, summoning is back. Appearing in the sacred caves of Ryachido, Naruto met Aoda. Greetings sir, for what purpose have you come to us? Aoda asked. Hello Aoda, I would like to learn senjutsu from you, may I do so? Sir, I can't help you with that, you need to ask Hakuji-sama's permission, I will take you to him. Naruto and Aoda went to the back of the cave where Hakuja-sanin himself was sitting on the throne. Hello, great Hakuja-san. Hello Naruto-kun. I heard a rumor from Aoda that you met and humiliated a toad summoner in front of your entire village and then in front of the entire Ryachido, is it true? Yes, great Hakuja-san, I met him when I was on my way to the Hokage's residence from the examination to settle the matter of the girl found and then protected from my clan, but that's beside the point. I met him near the women's bathing area, spying on them shamelessly, which is one of the biggest insults of our clan. As our clan respects the ladies, we can say that he reveres them. Well, I told you that this pervert is watching them, and I humiliated him by the fact that he is my godfather. The first thing, instead of seeing his godson, went to the aforementioned bathrooms. And once the matter was settled, he insulted me apologizing, and as an apology he offered to teach me the toad vocation. Can you imagine that I am more at ease with your tribe than with some toads, and with my father's technique? Honestly, it pissed me off, so I did it. Hakuja listened to his story without interrupting him, and after hearing his story, he said, you acted like a real snake caller, you deserve praise. Said the big white snake. Hakuja-san, can I learn senjutsu from your tribe? Naruto asked politely. I think my body is ready for it. It would take you about 2 years, which is a month by the standards of your world, are you sure about that? Yes, replied the scarlet-haired man. Well, Manda. Have you summoned Hakuja herself? Manda bowed. Summoned, teach Uzumaki Naruto the senjutsu. This is the one who humiliated the toad summoner in front of the entire village, it was my master's pleasure. Naruto spent a month learning senjutsu, 2 weeks learning to sense and absorb natural chakra, and the rest of the time learning snake-style taijutsu. Karen spent a month training in chakra control and elemental techniques. She also started learning fuinjutsu. She missed Naruto terribly and was waiting for his return. And so a month passed. Karen, along with Sakura, whom she had become close friends with, was heading towards the arena. Karen, do you know where Naruto is? He hasn't shown up at the range for a month, and he hasn't been seen around the village. I'm sorry Sakura, but Naruto asked me not to tell you, he wants to surprise you. Smiled to Karen that did not see the hour that her Naruto appeared. Chapter 12. Final Battles. Well, today we are gathered for the final round of the Chunin exam. So let's begin. The first couple is Uzumaki Naruto and Hyuga Neji. Those named please stay and the others please go to the waiting balcony. Only Neji is left in the arena. Where is Naruto? Sakura panicked at the sight of Karen smilingly throwing the 3-petal kunai that Naruto used to teleport next to the examiner. He really wants to tell everyone that he's the son of the fourth. That kunai echoed throughout the arena. Meanwhile, a thunderclap was heard and a handsome bald boy of about 15 years old appeared in the arena on a single Kalen with his arms outstretched in different directions, wearing black and red fingerless gloves, wearing a white cape with a red flame on the end, and the inscription, Snake Sanin, and a swirl mark on his back around his eyes and along the bridge of his nose was a purple outline and his pupil resembled that of a snake, only with 3 swirls, indicating his dojutsu. He raised his kunai and uttered, "Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto has come to take the exam. Examiner, may I make an announcement?" Naruto inquired. "Pav Karen. So that's it, time to throw that kunai. Where is Naruto?" Sakura asked excitedly, and then saw me throw that kunai. Do you want to announce to everyone that you are the son of the 4th Hokage? Yes, I answered tersely and threw the kunai. As soon as it landed, there was a clap of thunder and a handsome bald boy of about 15 appeared in the arena on one knee with his hands spread apart, wearing black and red fingerless gloves. He wore a white cloak with a red flame on the end, the inscription, Snake Sanin, and a swirl mark on his back. There was a purple circle around his eyes and along the bridge of his nose, and his pupil resembled that of a snake, only with 3 swirls, indicating his dojutsu. He raised his kunai and uttered, "Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto has come to take the exam. Examiner, may I make an announcement?" Naruto. I was surprised at how much he had grown this month. Of course I knew that time in the summoning world didn't go the same as in ours. I wonder how long it must have been by his summoning standards. And Pav Karen. Yes, of course. She replied stuttering. Thank you. So you all know me as a demon and you've never considered what kind of demon I am. You only want the 4th Hokage and you didn't even know that he had a son that he had to seal to the Kyuubi. His last wish was that his son would be seen as the hero who would stop Kyuubi. But instead you terrorized him for his entire life and didn't even consider that he might break because of your actions and destroy Konoha. He was about to do so and wanted to release the fox, but the 4th Hokage, his father, appeared and stopped him. After hearing the boy's story, he became disillusioned with the village, and to protect his son from the village and the elders who wanted to turn the boy into a weapon, he gave him his knowledge. This boy locked himself up, befriended a fox and did not take revenge on the village, but on the grave of his parents he swore to protect the village and take revenge on those responsible for the death of his parents. That boy was me, Uzumaki Naruto. The current head of the clan, although not officially, but that will be rectified in the future. And now let's see who is stronger, the genius of the Hyuga clan or the new hermit snake of Mount Ryachido. Examiner, start the fight. Naruto announced and asked, "There, now they know the truth." Naruto thought to himself. Meanwhile everyone in the stands pondered Naruto's words. They didn't believe he was the son of the 4th, but the technique by which he appeared in the arena said otherwise. Pav Orochimaru. This Naruto boy is very interesting at such a young age to be so sensible and intelligent. I think I will agree to his request, and the Snake Sanin's cloak indicates that he is a snake summoner, just like me. And his goals of protecting his home and family, and getting revenge on Danzo and his sidekick, sure are worthy of the Snake Sanin, and it seems he has been in Ryachido, something even I could not achieve. Yes, I will agree to train him. I've been very interested in him and from the rumors Manda told me, he humiliated Jiraiya for all of Ryachido and Konoha. I wonder what he's done. Well, show me what you're worth, Naruto-kun. Orochimaru's end. Pav. Surrender, Naruto, you are destined to lose to me. Neji said arrogantly. You think you're so tough, you think fate decides everything, after the fight you'll realize you're wrong. Naruto hissed like a snake. Fight! Shouted the examiner to then leave the battlefield. Neji immediately activated his Byakugan and attacked the scarlet-haired man with taijutsu. Naruto successfully deflected the attacks and inflicted his own. After 5 minutes broke the distance and bending a couple of seals shouted, Kaden, Phoenix Flowers. Neji was hit by many Phoenix Flowers, which he successfully dodged, but the clones were already running towards him, destroying them when he heard the familiar name of the technique. The Hyuga clan's secret technique, 8 trigrams, 64 hits from heaven. After the first hit Naruto started counting down. 2. 0.4, 0.8, 0.16, 0.32, 0.64. After the last hit, Neji flew off in such a way that his tread came off and everyone saw the seal. The whole Hyuga clan, seeing how Naruto hit Neji, were shocked and asked 2 questions. Firstly, how does he know his technique and how did he get the Byakugan? After a series of punches, Naruto approached Neji. How do you know that technique? Neji roared. whispered a little bird. You see Neji, it is not fate that governs us, it is we who govern it. Now let me take this seal off you and put one on you that will prevent anyone from being able to give you similar seals. What is it called? A bird in a cage. Resolved the brunette. Naruto smiled in response and folded a long line of seals and touched the mark and shouted, Fuinjutsu, caged bird seal, release. Naruto then formed the same line of seals and exclaimed, Fuinjutsu, caged bird seal, defense. Now, Neji, whoever tries to put a seal on you will only take it twice as hard and painful, and if they try to expel you from the clan, your entire clan, except for you and the people you care about, will lose the power of the Byakugan for all eternity, so you and those you care about will be the only holders of said eyes, and if they want to take them by force, they will be severely damaged. Now let me take you to the infirmary and open your channels. Naruto held out his hand to Neji, who took it and put his arm over Naruto's neck and took Neji to the infirmary, but before doing so, he injected his chakra to open the chakra channels. The winner is Uzumaki Naruto. The examiner exclaimed. This really is Minato Namikaze's son. Glory to Uzumaki Naruto. Someone shouted from the stands and was seconded by a roar of cheers and applause. Pa Hiyashi. This guy, as he knows our secret technique and even uses it. When I looked into his eyes I didn't see Byakugan but other eyes. I have to ask him. End Pa Hiyashi. Naruto appeared next to Karen and sneaking up from behind he closed her eyes and whispered in her ear, guess who? Naruto. Karen asked. The answer is correct. Naruto then put his arm around Karen and looked into her eyes with his now normal ones. You know, you look good with those dark circles under your eyes and the cloak too. If it wasn't for your father's technique I wouldn't have recognized you. By the way, how long have you been gone by the standards of the summoning world? 2 years. Said the scarlet-haired man with a smile. Do you know how much I've missed you? I can't imagine. Karen smiled. A smaller version of Manda appeared next to Naruto. Manda-san. Is something wrong with you? Naruto asked lifting the snake over his shoulder. Yes, Naruto-kun, you know who asked me to tell you that it's okay and in 2 weeks they will come for you and Sasuke, wait. Thank you, Manda-san. After saying that, Manda went back to the Ryachido caves. Shikamaru, Sakura, who showed a decent level of strategic and combat skills during the exam and a good level of Irioninjutsu during the attack, and Sasuke. Chapter 13. A new Hokage and a 4-year 2-person mission. Naruto stood at the door, dressed in a black jumpsuit with red stripes down the sides, a Chunin vest and a cape. Jiraiya asked Naruto, whose relationship with Naruto had not moved at all. Let's go, said the scarlet-haired one dryly, and they set off in search of Tsunade. They walked in silence and Jiraiya began to speak. You did well on the exam, and you made a spectacular appearance. Jiraiya began. Thank you. Uzumaki replied dryly. Tell me, when did you sign the draft contract? Jiraiya continued to ask. 3 months ago. Naruto also answered. Tell me, do you know your element yet? Jiraiya continued. Why do you need to know? The scarlet-haired one already hissed like a snake and unsealed the Kubikiribocho. Wow, it's the sword of one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist, how did you get it? Jiraiya admired it. A battle trophy, replied Uzumaki squinting his eyes, preparing for battle. Now tell me, what do you want from me? I want a relationship with you. Jiraiya replied. You should have come looking for me instead of the baths, but now the train has left. The scarlet-haired man sealed his sword and turned to leave. After arriving at the place where Tsunade should be, they went through all the casinos and bars. Already desperate, they entered the last bar, and there at the last table sat Tsunade and her student. Hello, Tsunade. Jiraiya said hello. Hello, Tsunade-sama. Naruto said hello. Oh, Jiraiya, hi, long time no see. Tsunade started. Oh, who's that? Tsunade-sama, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, the current head of the clan, though not officially, and the second snake Sanin. Sanin snake, you say? I don't believe it. To prove it, Naruto summoned a smaller version of Aota. You summoned Naruto-san, hissed the snake. Yes, you can confirm my words that I am the new Sanin of your tribe, it's just that the current slug Sanin doesn't believe me. With pleasure my lord. Aota hissed. Hello slug Princess Tsunade Senju, I assure you that everything Naruto-san said is true. I still don't believe it. Tsunade stood her ground. I have a suggestion, how about we make a bet? If you win, I take off the Sannin cape, and if I win, you become the 5th Hokage. Let's make the bet a duel. Deal. The scarlet-haired man sketched a predatory smile. There were 4 people standing in the small training ground. They were Shizune, Tsunade, Jiraiya and Naruto. Are you ready, boy? Tsunade asked. Always. He replied. Now that everyone is ready, Jiraiya will be the judge. Fight. Jiraiya shouted. Tsunade ran towards Naruto with her fist raised. Naruto dodged it and started to hit her with precise and fast snake-style punches. Then breaking the distance she activated Uzugen. She had learned to deactivate it when she was learning Senjutsu. His eyes changed their color to light blue. And around the pupil revolved 3 swirling signs. His eyes gave off a slight glow, which meant that the Sharingan and Byakugan modes were activated, and he lured her back to Taijutsu. After breaking the distance he said. I see that you are filling your hands with chakra and releasing it when you hit, a useful technique that I will keep in mind. After this sentence Naruto again imposed a taijutsu combat on her, but this time he began to fill the blows with chakra, which surprised Tsunade. Soon the redhead got bored and broke the distance. Hyuga clan's secret technique 8 trigrams 64 heavenly blows. After saying that, the Uzugen vanished, which meant that the Byakugan mode was activated, and started to strike. After the first successful hit, the scarlet-haired man started counting down. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. After the last hit, Tsunade spat blood and flew a few meters away from Uzumaki and lost consciousness. Naruto, how do you know this technique? Jiraiya asked, lifting Tsunade up. I borrowed and copied a scroll lost by one of the Hyuga rascals, and thanks to my eyes I can use it on par with the Hyuga. The scarlet-haired man replied. Shizune-san, will you take us to your room? Yes, of course. Shizune-san replied. Later in the room. Jiraiya put her on the couch and I'll cure her. Naruto said. Do you know Irioninjutsu? Jiraiya and Shizune asked. Yes, why? The scarlet-haired one asked. But Kyuubi chakra is poisonous to non-Jinchuriki, who taught you that? Jiraiya continued. I wasn't taught anything but Reikiri and Senjutsu. I learned everything on my own, including Irioninjutsu, and about chakra. If you have good control over chakra, you can block one flow and open another. In my case, open my chakra flow and close the chakra of the 9 tails. Explained Uzumaki and began to treat Tsunade, while opening her channel. She also has a liver problem because of alcohol, now we will fix it. Naruto said, surprising everyone, and moved his hand with a green glow to the liver area and slightly increased the flow of healing chakra, which made the glow stronger. It's done, her liver is safe, except for Tsunade's cravings for alcohol. Joked the scarlet-haired man, after half an hour of treatment. After another half hour, Tsunade came to. Where am I? What happened? He asked. Tsunade-sama, you're in your room after sparring with me. Started the scarlet-haired man. What happened? She continued. Jiraiya and I went to see you with the news that you had been appointed the new Hokage. When we met you, Jiraiya and I greeted you. You asked me who I was. I told you Uzumaki Naruto knew Snake Sannin, which you didn't believe. Then we bet on the fact that I am Sannin. The conditions were if you won I would take off my Sannin cape, and if I won then you would return to the village and become Hokage. We faced each other, and now guess who won? Uzumaki explained. Well, judging by the fact that you're wearing a cloak and I'm lying in bed, you won. Tsunade guessed. Yes, after Jiraiya and I took you to your room where I treated you and opened your chakra channels after my technique. By the way, listen to me as Irionina. Don't drink too much alcohol. When I treated you after the technique, I noticed that you had a liver problem, but don't worry, I fixed it, but try to abstain from alcohol. I will listen to you. Who taught you Irioninjutsu? You are a Jinchuriki and the Biju chakra is poisonous for non-Jinchuriki. Tsunade asked. I wasn't taught anything else besides Reikiri and Senjutsu. I learned everything on my own, including Irioninjutsu, and about chakra. If you have good control over chakra, You can block one flow and open another, in my case, open my chakra flow and close the chakra of the 9 tails. Uzumaki explained. I see, well then consider that by healing me you have passed the test. When we return to Konoha I will make it official. Thank you. Naruto thanked him and fell asleep in the chair he was sitting in. Chapter 14. Farewell Village. The next day they traveled to Konoha where Tsunade had become the 5th Hokage. It had been 2 weeks since Tsunade had taken over as 5th Hokage. In 2 weeks Naruto had officially passed the Irionen exam, as well as teaching Karen a couple more of his elemental techniques and some barriers. All was quiet in the residence when suddenly Naruto enters his office. Hello, Hokage-sama, may I speak with you in private? The scarlet-haired one asked. Sure, Shizune come out for a moment. The named one came out. What did you want? There are no Anbu. Naruto said, to which Tsunade sighed and with a snap of her fingers, the Anbu left the office. What did you want? Tsunade asked. Naruto touched the walls and put up barriers against eavesdropping and began to speak. Sasuke and I are going to leave Konoha for the next 4 years. The thing is, we met Orochimaru at the exam, we fought a little, he put a cursed seal on Sasuke, which I successfully removed, but that's not what's important. He offered to train you, and I've already asked him to be my apprentice. He has the knowledge I need to do something. I ask for your permission to leave Konoha. If you agree, in 4 years we will be rid of the problem that was responsible for the death of the Uchiha clan and the 9 Tails incident 13 years ago. Well, when will you leave the village? Tonight is the night to come for us. Send a pursuit team. It will give us a chance to pretend that we have escaped and then it will be easier for us to return to eliminate the aforementioned person. Alright, I give you my permission to leave the village. I will register it as a long urgent S-rank mission, Tsunade replied. You may go. That same night, the 4 of the Sound and Sasuke had a meeting, where the conversation went according to canon. Also, Orochimaru-sama needs Uzumaki Naruto, where to find him? Tayuya asked. Right now he's walking around his neighborhood or reading scrolls at his house, I can let him know if necessary. We will be waiting for him east of the south gate of the outskirts of Konoha. Tayuya replied and the 4 of them disappeared. Sasuke summoned Naruto with the help of the seal of the Thunder God and told him everything, and they went to the south gate. On the way they met Sakura where they had the same conversation that in the anime between Sasuke and Sakura when he left the village. At dawn Sakura informed Tsunade that Sasuke and Naruto had left Konoha and Tsunade sent a search and rescue team formed by Neji, Roku Lee, Choji, Sakura, Shikamaru, Shino and Kiba. Everything was the same as in the anime until the battle in the Valley of Completion where Sasuke, Naruto and Kiba had a conversation. After Naruto disconnected Kiba they headed to Orochimaru's lair. Chapter 15. Homecoming. It had been about 4 years since Sasuke and Naruto had left. During that time, everyone who had not become a Chunin had passed the exam and become one. Karen and Sakura had learned Irionen Jutsu from Tsunade and passed the Irionen A-class exam, and Neji had become a Chunin. Meanwhile, Naruto was actively learning genetic engineering from Orochimaru and trying to find the key to the fox's cage. 2.5 years after leaving the village, he succeeded. When he opened the cage a Kushina began to emerge. Naruto instantly formed seals and sealed his chakra into a seal on his arm as soon as he saw her. There were 3 people walking towards Konoha. 2 of them were wearing cloaks, one had a white cloak with red fire on the ends with a whirlwind sign on the back and the inscription, Snake Sanin. It was a boy with long scarlet hair and blindfolded eyes, and a staff made of wood with a snake head-shaped figure on the top end. Periodically probe the path with this staff. The second was a girl about 25 years old with the same hair, wearing a scarlet cloak with a hood on her head, and a boy dressed in a loose white shirt with a V-shaped cut on the chest and the insignia of the Uchiha clan on the back, with a copy of a kusanagi hanging from his belt, his hair and eyes the color of a raven's wing. He's almost here, Naruto, said the girl. I know, replied the blindfolded boy. Kurama, when are they going to take root? A miniature version of the 9-tailed appeared on the boy's shoulder. Be patient for 2 more days. To which the guy sighed. I wonder who the Hokage will be now. The girl asked. When Sasuke and I left the village, there was Tsunade Senju. Answered the scarlet-haired one and stopped at the door. She arrived. Say who you are and the reason for your visit. Izumo ordered. Oh, they never changed you, let me introduce myself. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, next to me are Uchiha Sasuke and Uzumaki Kushina. Naruto introduced himself, and when he pointed to the girl, she took off her hood. Kushina-san. But how, you're dead. Izumo and Kotetsu wondered. Naruto brought me back to life with the forbidden technique of his eyes, losing his eyesight in the process. Kushina replied. Flashback. 3 months ago. In Orochimaru's lab. Summoning technique. The scarlet-haired man shouted. Did you summon my master? Hissed the snake. Hello Aota, can you find the body of the girl in this picture? Naruto showed the picture of a girl around 25 years old with scarlet hair dressed in a green dress and a white blouse. Her name is Uzumaki Kushina. Her body is somewhere in Konoha. Yes, my lord. 1 month later. Here is the body, Naruto-sama. Aota replied. Thank you Aota, you can return to your world. Uzumaki thanked. When Aota disappeared, Naruto placed Kushina's body on the table. I spent 4 years studying genetic engineering with Orochimaru for nothing. Let's get started. Naruto spent another month working on Kushina's body to make it look human. The hole in her chest was no longer there but a white spot of Hashirama cells. The small cuts and wounds were healed. Now Naruto was preparing for the complicated operation of transferring his mother's chakra from the seal to his body. As Naruto began, a loud cry of pain from Naruto was heard throughout the shelter. Half an hour later it was all over. Naruto, what happened? Kabuto and Sasuke ran in upon hearing the scream with a copy of the Kusanagi in their hands. It's nothing, Sasuke, can you please leave Kabuto and me alone? Replied the scarlet-haired one to his friend. After Sasuke left, Naruto turned to Kabuto. Kabuto, I'll need your help. Now I'll use the forbidden technique on my eyes. Then I'll go blind and faint for a while. Your job is to take my mother to my room and then me. Can you do it? Yes, what do you propose? You'll see. Naruto started to fold the seals and then shouted. Uzugen forbidden technique, chakra resurrection. A piercing scream from the scarlet-haired man echoed throughout the shelter. After an hour it stopped. Kushina opened her eyes and saw that she was in some kind of laboratory. Where am I? Am I alive? Kushina began to wonder. It worked. The hairless man whose eyes had turned white and his mouth and eyes were bleeding. Happy second birthday, Mom. Naruto. Kushina's eyes filled with tears and she wanted to hug her son, but every movement was painful. Not now Mom, you need to recover from the surgery, wheezed the scarlet-haired one, expectorating blood. What operation and what's wrong with your eyes? Kushina began her questioning. I'm sorry Mom, but not now, let's talk later, I'm not in a position to answer you now. Okay. Kabuto answered and started to fall asleep. Kabuto, please describe his condition. Resolved the scarlet-haired one who kept himself from fainting only because of Uzumaki's resistance. His heartbeat is normal, his pulse is normal, his body responds to stimuli and there are no signs of rejection of the first Hokage's cells. You did it, Naruto, you did the impossible. Kabuto said in an amazed voice. Then put me behind the chair and take her to my room and then to me. Okay. Later to the room. Naruto. What were those screams all over the asylum? Shouted Sasuke running to his friend's room and was stunned. There was a girl sleeping on Naruto's bed, and Naruto was sitting on a chair next to her. She looked like a squeezed lemon and her eyes were white. Sasuke, please don't scream, you'll wake up my mom. Naruto asked. How? The brunette asked in a quieter voice. First I spent a month restoring her body, then when you and Kabuto rushed into the lab I transfused the rest of my mother's chakra, sealed with the fox, and then using the forbidden eye technique I revived her, but now I'm blind. Sasuke, can I ask you a question? Of course. That night, I hope you know what night I'm talking about, I saw Danzo take the eyes of the corpses of your clan members, and I took the eyes of almost half of your clan members, thus making them safe from Danzo. What do you mean by that? Sasuke asked. Can I take a pair and transplant them to me? Asked Naruto. You saved me from the mistake I would have made if I had killed my brother, you are a good man and my friend, so you are worthy of these eyes. By the way, who has my parents' eyes? Me, don't worry, I beat Danzo to it. Thank you. Sasuke thanked with tears in his eyes. Thank you, now I can see again. You're welcome, smiled the brunette. Listen Sasuke, can I ask you to leave me alone with my mother? Right now I feel like a squeezed lemon. Yes, of course, take a rest. Sasuke said and left the room. Kurama, buddy, sorry to wake you up, but can you give me some chakra to summon the snake messenger? Naruto asked the fox. Yons, here you go. The fox gave some chakra to Naruto. Thank you, Naruto thanked, feeling a 25% replenishment, folded the seals and whispered, summoning technique. Did you do the summoning? The white snake asked. Take this letter and give it to Karen Uzumaki. Obediently. The snake hissed, took the envelope and crawled towards the exit of the shelter. Well, now we can rest, said the scarlet-haired man and collapsed in his chair. End of flashback. I see. Well, come in then, Tsunade-sama will be surprised. Of course she'll be surprised. Kushina laughed. Naruto, Sasuke and Kushina walked towards the residence. A pink-haired girl walked past them, then stopped abruptly and as she turned around she saw the inscription, Snake Sanin, and the sign of the swirl on the cloak of one of them, and the sign of the Uchiha on the shirt of the other. Sasuke, Naruto, is that you guys? Girl asked in surprise. It's been a long time Sakura. Sasuke replied. Yes, it's us. Why did you leave Konoha? She shouted. Sasuke, can you please calm her down? Scarlet asked. It's just that if I go to calm her down, I'm more likely to knock her down than calm her down, and I don't know if I'll get to her. Yes, of course, replied the brunette and approached the pink-haired girl. Thanks, but we went to the Hokage. Naruto thanked him and they continued on their way. Naruto, do you have a girlfriend? Kushina asked. Yes, she's the most beautiful of all the girls I've seen, smiled Uzumaki remembering Karen. Who is she and when will you introduce her to us? Her name is Uzumaki Karen, she is also like you and me, the last member of our clan. By the way, did you know that you are the Hime of the Uzumaki clan? No, why? Now you do. What do you mean? Kushina didn't understand. When I was 13, I awakened the chains of Kongo Fuso. Yes, I know, boys can't awaken them, but those who are connected by genes to the main branch of the clan can. By the way, I am the current head of the clan. Naruto smiled. That's crazy. Kushina was shocked. A girl of about 17 with scarlet hair and the same color eyes and glasses bumped into Naruto. Oh, please forgive me, it's just that I'm running to the front door today, my boyfriend is coming back. Karen apologized. Naruto knew from her voice who had hit him and decided to play a game. What is his name? Naruto asked. Oh, he's the current head of the Uzumaki clan, a very good and kind man who saved me once and put me here, his name is Naruto. Karen began to praise, to which Kushina let out a giggle at the spectacle. Why are you laughing? Asked Karen indignantly. Well, hello there, Karen. The scarlet-haired man smiled after saying that. Have we met before? Do we know each other? She asked. Yes, do you remember the Forest of Death from 4 years ago? The hairless man asked. Karen, realizing who was in front of her, let out a tear and attacked poor Naruto, causing him to fall backwards and drop his staff. Naruto! Shrieked Karen, is it really you? Do you have any idea how much I've missed you? Why did you leave the village and didn't tell me? Why? Naruto just pulled the girl against him and kissed her while hugging her. Believe me, I missed you anyway. Smiled the boy. Oh, what's that in your eyes, and who's that? Karen asked and became jealous. The eye thing, you'll know in 2 days, but this is Karen, this is Kushina Uzumaki, my mom. Mom, for her I would do anything, her name is Karen. So, now explain to me how come your mom is alive if she's dead? Karen asked. Naruto told her how he had brought his mother back to life. That's why I'm wearing the bandage, and I'll keep it on for 2 more days. I see, well, I'll run home then. You haven't moved out, have you? Naruto asked. No. Well then, we'll go see the Hokage in the meantime. Later at the dorm, Naruto and Kushina approached Tsunade's office and knocked. When they heard permission to enter, Naruto said, put on your hood. Naruto asked. And when Kushina put it on they went inside. I haven't seen you before in Konoha. Tsunade said. A snake told me that the Lady Hokage, Tsunade Senju, has been drinking again. Said the blindfolded stranger in a rather familiar voice. Who are you, and what are you doing here, and what does this have to do with you? Tsunade began. Let me introduce myself, my name is Uzumaki Naruto, and next to me is who you least expect to see, guess who? The scarlet-haired man asked. Naruto. My god, I don't recognize you, what's wrong with your eyes? Tsunade asked. And who is it? Tsunade-sama, that's something we should talk about in private. Tsunade, realizing what the scarlet-haired man wanted, snapped her fingers and the Anbu left the office, after which Naruto erected a barrier against eavesdropping and introduced. Meet Uzumaki Kushina, my mother, said the guy. Then Kushina took off the hood of his cloak. Hello Aunt Tsunade. Greeted Kushina with a happy smile. Tsunade, who saw Kushina's jaw, almost gawked. How? You're dead. Tsunade was astonished. Naruto brought me back to life with the forbidden technique of his eyes, and lost his eyesight in the process. Kushina replied, smiling. I see, but what about his eyes? Why do you have them blindfolded? I transplanted a Sharingan into my eyes, where did I get them from? That's easy enough. The night the clan was slaughtered, I was walking around the village and saw Danzo removing their eyes, so I decided to protect half of them from Danzo, and that half included the eyes of Sasuke's parents. They are now stored in my vault under a series of blood seals. I see. How strong did you become during your training with Orochimaru? I think almost at my father's level, maybe a little stronger. Come on, in 2 days you will test my skills, and we will go to the post and then home. We are tired from the road. By the way, Sasuke is back too. I see, well, you can go then. Chapter 16. Rinnegan, the fight with Sakura and Kakashi. It's been 2 days. Hey Kurama, what's there to film? Naruto asked, sitting in his room. Your new eyes have taken root, you can take them off, replied the fox. Naruto took off his bandages and walked over to the mirror and started to open his eyes. When he opened his eyes, he saw that the left one had a Mangekyo Sharingan burning in it and the right one was completely blue with black circles coming out of the pupil like ripples in the water and had 6 tomo. Kurama, I had a Sharingan transplant, why the hell do I have a Rinnegan burning in one eye, and a blue one at that? Naruto asked, somewhat puzzled. It seems that my chakra has mutated one of your eyes to Rinnegan color, since you used to have Uzugan, which is blue. Listen, do you know any technique for these eyes? I know there are 6 Rinnegan paths: the Diva path, Asura path, Man path, Beast path, Preta path and Naraki path, and yours seems to have Sharingan abilities as well, so let's go over them in order. Way of the Diva, technique that grants the user the ability to control the forces of attraction and repulsion towards objects or people, but does not have an infinite recharge period of at least 5 seconds. It also grants the ability to use the Chibaku Tensai technique, which allows the user to create a huge spherical celestial body from all the surrounding earthly material, which is attracted by the black sphere released by this technique. The Way of the Asura grants the user the ability to modify his body to summon mechanized armor and various ballistic or mechanical weapons. The Way of Man, a technique that grants the Rinnegan user the ability to read a target's mind by placing a hand on the target's head or chest and then ripping the soul from the body. Although the technique extracts information, revealing well-guarded secrets, it inevitably kills the victim. Way of the Beast grants the Rinnegan's wielder the ability to summon various beasts and creatures to aid him in battle. Apparently, these creatures are immortal, as they sometimes die and then are summoned again. Summoning creatures by the Way of the Beast does not require blood offerings or hand seals. The Way of Preta grants the user the ability to absorb chakra in any form, a very useful ability in combat. The Way of Naraki grants the user 2 main abilities: interrogation and recovery, using the King of Hell. That's all I know about these eyes. Cool, Datbeo. Do you know if I can use them yet? For now you can only use Diva's path and Preta's path, as your body is not yet ready for the other paths. When you use the Diva path, to attract, point your hand there and say, Divine Attraction, or, Bansho Tenon, And if you want to push away something heavy, shout, Divine Punishment, or, Shinra Tensai, and if you want to stop, just reach out your hand and think about it. I see, thank you Kurama. Naruto thanked, and then there was a knock on the door. Who's there? The scarlet-haired one asked. It's me Karen, I came to help you down to the kitchen, said Karen entering the room. As she entered the room she saw that Naruto wasn't in the chair he usually sat in and she couldn't feel his chakra either. Boo! Naruto shouted from behind Karen. Wah! Karen panicked and wanted to kick him, but the kick was blocked. Karen, calm down, shouted the scarlet-haired one, but Karen didn't seem to hear him. Then Naruto decided to do something different. Bouncing to the other side of the room, Naruto pointed his hand towards Karen and said, Divine Attraction. Karen jumped up and flew towards Naruto. When he caught her he hugged her and kissed her on the lips. Have you calmed down yet? Asked the scarlet-haired one. Yes. Naruto, what's wrong with your eyes? And how did you draw me to you? Karen asked with a blush. These are my new eyes. After the transplant, Kurama channeled his chakra into them to make them grow faster, but in the end, I got a Rinnegan instead of a Sharingan. I see, but how did you lure me? With the help of the Diva Path, which is one of the 6 abilities of my eyes, I can control gravity with this path. Explained the scarlet-haired man hugging Karen. I see, let's go to the kitchen then, your mom already prepared breakfast. Naruto and Karen walked into the kitchen. It's been a long time since they came here. Kushina said as she fluttered into the kitchen. I was just admiring my new eyes and an individual one. Naruto said looking at Karen with his Rinnegan. Kushina turned around so her son could finally see her, but when she looked into his eyes she froze and dropped her plate in fright. Is something wrong, Mom? Scarlet asked as she cleaned up the broken plate. What's wrong with your eyes? I thought you said you had a Sharingan transplant. Kushina recovered from the shock. I thought so too, but when Kurama put chakra in my eyes to make them grow faster, he transformed one into Rinnegan and upgraded the other to Mangekyo. Naruto said and tried to stop the chakra flowing into his eyes, after which the Sharingan transformed first into 3 Tomo and then into a normal black eye, while the Rinnegan remained. It looks like the Rinnegan won't be deactivated. Karen said. We'll have to hide it. Smiled the scarlet-haired man. By the way, did you remember today's test? Kushina asked. No, I haven't forgotten. I'll have to disguise my eye. Naruto said and started eating. Later at the shooting range. To test your and Sasuke's strength, Kakashi and Sakura will go against you, okay? Tsunade said. Yes. They both replied. Then, let's get started. After Tsunade announced the start of the fight, Naruto and Sasuke faded away. Sasuke, look me in the eyes. When Sasuke looked at them, he saw a Sharingan on one of them and was hit by a Genjutsu. It took 5 seconds. I see, then let's go. Sakura and Kakashi were standing in a clearing. Suddenly, a decapitator comes flying towards them. Kakashi and Sakura bounced. Sasuke appeared and forced a taijutsu fight with Sakura, followed by Naruto and headed towards Kakashi. When Kakashi looked into his eyes he saw a Sharingan, but it was too late, he was trapped in a Genjutsu. No! Shouted Kakashi falling to his knees muttering. Forgive me sensei, Obito, Rin. Forgive me. After the last scream, Kakashi lost consciousness. At the same time, Sasuke was taking care of Sakura. That's enough. Tsunade ordered. Kakashi sensei, you got caught again. Naruto said as he stopped the Genjutsu. You are getting stronger. Kakashi praised. And you're not so bad yourself, Sasuke. Well done, from now on you are Jonin, come back tomorrow to get your vests. Hi. They both replied. Naruto, how did you get the Sharingan? Kakashi and Sakura asked. Well, I transplanted them to myself since I got blinded after a technique, but this way I can see. And what was that technique? Kakashi asked. Come to my house tonight, both of you. You'll be in for a big surprise, especially you Kakashi. Naruto said. We can go now. We'll surely go tonight, only how do we get through the barrier? Sakura asked. I put the passing seals on you 4 years ago, have you forgotten? Naruto wondered. By the way, What's wrong with the shooting range? Nothing is wrong with it. Kakashi replied. Good, then come tonight at 1800 to the main building of the block. Kakashi has been there before, so he will find it quickly. Naruto said. I advise you to go well prepared. What you will see there will surprise you a lot, and especially you Kakashi-sensei. Said Sasuke. By the way Naruto, why do you have one eye closed? There are ears and eyes everywhere Sasuke, so you too come and see. Naruto said with a smile. Then they separated. Naruto put the Konoha shield over his right eye, in Kakashi's likeness, and headed home. Mom, Karen, I'm home. Naruto shouted from the doorway. Oh, Naruto, you're back, how did you do on the exam? Kushina asked coming out of the kitchen. It went very well. They put Sakura and Kakashi-sensei against us. Well, Sasuke took Sakura, and I took Kakashi. Overall I caught him in Genjutsu, and I won. Naruto told me. And what did you show in Genjutsu? Karen asked coming down from the second floor. Oh, I showed him the same thing as in the bell test, but then the whole team was reincarnated into Father, Obito and Rin, and today I just showed him the same thing in Genjutsu. I see, go to the kitchen for lunch, said Kushina. I almost forgot, Sasuke and I have been promoted, we are now Jonin, tomorrow we will go to the dorm to get our ids and vests. Naruto boasted. Congratulations. Echoed Karen and Kushina. Thank you, and by the way, we have guests today. Announced Naruto. Who are they? Asked Kushina. My team, they are Sakura, Sasuke and Kakashi. Said Naruto. I see. Well, then let's get ready to welcome the guests. Said Kushina. 1800. The doorbell rang. Oh, there's Kakashi-senpai, said Naruto. Now Karen get ready to watch the show. Naruto went to let the guests in. Oh, there's Sakura, Sasuke, where's Kakashi? He said he would catch up with us. Sakura said. Here I am. Kakashi said with a bundle in his hands. I thought it's not cultured to go to the house empty-handed, especially knowing that there will be two ladies. Naruto, who is there? A voice came from the second floor, and Kakashi's eyes widened when he heard it, and upon seeing who it belonged to, he fainted, dropping the cake, but Naruto caught them both with his snake hands. I didn't know Kakashi had such weak nerves. Alright Sakura, you don't even know, so let me introduce you to Uzumaki Kushina, my mom. But you said she died on your birthday. Sakura was puzzled. That's right, but 2 years ago Naruto found a way to resurrect me, and she lost her sight, but then she was transplanted a Sharingan and now she can see. I see, oh, I think Kakashi-sensei has come to his senses. Sakura said. Oh Naruto, what was that? Was it just me or did I see your mother alive? Kakashi muttered. It wasn't like that. Said Kushina. Now explain to me why Kushina-sama is alive and how you got a Sharingan and why your right eye is closed. It's been an hour of explanation. Anyway, now I have a Rinne Sharingan and a living mom. Naruto smiled. Yes, it's an interesting story. Sakura said. Naruto, can I talk to you? Sasuke asked in a serious tone. Yes, of course. Sakura, Kakashi, you guys have fun, but I need to talk to Sasuke. Naruto said. Let's go to my office. Later in the office. What is it that you wanted? Naruto asked. About our plan. I've been thinking about it and I've come to the conclusion that we won't be able to kill him together because of a certain project of Izanagi's. It's a forbidden Sharingan technique that can turn your death into Genjutsu. Exactly, and according to reports he has a Sharingan arm, so we'll need your brother, because his Susanoo has an ancient artifact that can seal anything. It's called the Totsuka sword, so first we have to get Itachi back. How are you going to do that? It's simple, send a snake to wait for you to meet him, and then go to the place he designates, and then how does it go? Uzumaki explained. The plan is fine, but what do we tell the Hokage? Sasuke asked. Naruto smiled and pulled out a folder from his desk drawer. What's it about? Let's say it's a document that will clear your brother's name and Danzo's dirty laundry. With this folder, we'll be able to leave the village safe and sound. When Danzo resents us, I'll put a suppression seal on it and then I'll take all the eyes of your clan and put them in a special solution, lock them in a vault, and after your clan is reborn, I'll give you the vault. That way we'll get Itachi back and avenge my clan and your parents. Yes, but I have to warn my mother not to leave the neighborhood or there will be trouble. You're right. Let's go with the others then, shall we? Yes, let's go with the others then, okay. They sat there for about 2 more hours, and then they sent the guests away. Mom, I have a favor to ask you. Yes, son, what is it? For God's sake don't leave the neighborhood, that will cause trouble with Danzo, who will send his pawns to get you if he finds out you're alive. Don't worry about the supplies, Karen, and I will deliver everything. Naruto is right, Kushina-san. When I moved to Konoha I was constantly being followed, as Naruto said later. It was those tricks of Danzo's, and once he tried to grab me, but thank God Naruto had his summoner with me. Flashback. Pav Karen. At night I was walking home when suddenly 2 Anbu appeared in front of me. Uzumaki, Karen, by order of Danzo-sama, we have to stop you. Surrender voluntarily or we will use force. For what reason? I shouted. But they silently attacked me. I defended myself, but at some point I realized that I couldn't resist anymore, when suddenly a purple-colored snake attacked those Anbu. Stop, as Manda. 5 minutes later, the Anbu were defeated. Thank you, Manda-sama, but how did you know I was attacked? Naruto asked me to protect you in case of danger, as you can see it came in handy. Answered the snake. Naruto. Where is he? Why did he leave the leaf? He left me. I asked, almost crying. Yes, Naruto. He's in Orochimaru's training now, that's why he left the hidden blade. Tell me, if he left you, would he ask me to be the second strongest snake to protect you? The answer is no, so he loves you and doesn't want anything to happen to you. Replied the snake. After we got home, a small snake crawled towards me and hissed. Karen Uzumaki. I nodded my head. You have a message from Naruto-sama. I took the envelope and the snake disappeared. I opened the envelope and began to read. Hello dear Karen. I'm sorry for leaving without warning, but it was necessary. Don't worry, I'm fine. I hope you are too. See you soon. Bye. End Pav Karen. End flashback. Okay, I won't leave the block. Chapter 17. Wait for Itachi, we're coming for you. The next day at Scope 15. Shinra Tensai. The scarlet-haired man shouted. The tree in front of him broke loose from its roots and flew 50 meters away. A pair of missiles flew after him and exploded as they touched the tree. Divine gravity. The kunai that was stuck in the dummy 50 meters away flew towards the scarlet-haired guy's hands. Chibaku Tensai. A miniature ball flew out of the scarlet-haired guy's hands and sucked up the remains of the tree. Excellent, 2 of the 6 paths have been mastered. I suggest we also practice the beast path and the preta path. Said the 9-tailed miniature sleeping under one of the trees. Good. Naruto began to fold the seals and shouted. Call. A huge rhinoceros with piercings and a Rinnegan appeared in front of him. Very good. Now there are 3 left. Said the scarlet-haired man and interrupted the summoning. Shadow clone. Creating the clone, Naruto ordered it to attack him with some medium technique. Kaden. Fireball. Shouted the clone, and towards the original, flew a 5 by 5 meter fireball. To which the scarlet-haired one simply reached out his hand and absorbed the technique. Great, only the paths of the human and Naraki remain. The leader rejoiced and lowered the Rinnegan's tread and headed for the exit of the training ground. The bald man strolled around Konoha and scared his enemies with his ki, but all good things come to an end. Just like this stroll, Anbu appeared in front of him. You are summoned by the Hokage, urgently. Anbu said and disappeared into the Shunshin. Well, if it's urgent, then let's not keep her waiting. Naruto disappeared into the Shunshin. Did you call for me, Hokage-sama? Naruto asked. Yes. First, stop scaring people with your ki, and second, the cage of Suna was completely attacked. Therefore, you, Sakura and Kakashi are going to go to the rescue. Go to the gate, they are waiting for you there. Hi. Naruto disappeared into the Horizon. Where is he? Sakura was furious. He said he didn't like to be late and he's been late. You're right, Sakura, I don't like people who are late, and I came here as soon as I heard about the mission. Naruto folded the seals. The summoning. A bird appeared in front of him, with scarlet hair standing on top of it. Are you just going to stand there like that, or are you going to get on the bird and fly to Suna? The scarlet-haired man asked irritably. Is it safe? Sakura asked, to which the red-haired man grumbled and said in a commanding tone. Sakura, if you don't get on that bird right now, I'll feed you to Manda, and that's an order from your superior officer. Naruto shouted at the girl, releasing ki, after which Sakura reluctantly climbed up. Kakashi is forcing you to. At her words Kakashi silently climbed onto the bird. That's it, now hold on. After his words, the bird flew through the air and headed towards Suna. Picking up Temari along the way, they reached Suna in a day and a half. At the Suna hospital where Kankura was hospitalized. So Sakura will help. After saying that, Naruto examined the body and ordered Sakura to make a mortar an hour later. Good, now hold him as tight as you can. Everything went on as usual, only instead of Sakura it was Naruto. And now at the entrance of the lair. They have a barrier against me, they're unlucky that I can knock it down. The scarlet-haired one doubled the seals and shouted, Fuinjutsu, elimination. The barrier fell. Now let's do this. Uzumaki lifted his blindfold and opened the Rinnegan. Everyone stand back, it will be me, Asura's way, who fights. Naruto fired 100 projectiles and blew that rock into the air and got inside. Here come the victims for training. The way of Naraki. Uzumaki summoned the King of Hell. Now tell me, how dare you attack my friend? I won't tell you anything. Deidara shouted. Too bad, said the scarlet-haired man, and then the King of Hell ripped out Deidara's tongue, killing him. Now you. Naruto disappeared and Sasori appeared behind him and pulled out his soul. The shinobi of Konoha and Akatsuki watched him and both sides were in awe of his power. Great, all the paths are mastered and Gaara is still alive. Itachi. I'm coming for you, name the time and place. Sasuke shouted. 2 weeks from now at the Uchiha's lair. After saying that, Itachi cut the connection. After 2 days, they returned to Arena and after another day, thanks to Hiraishin, they returned to Konoha. The mission is complete, Hokage-sama. Naruto said as they entered the office. Great, thanks to you saving the case cage, our relationship with Suna has improved, here's your reward, you can be free. Announced the fifth and everyone but Naruto and Sasuke left the office. After that, the scarlet-haired man raised a barrier. Is something wrong? Tsunade asked. Yes, it's about Itachi. Replied the hairless man. Sasuke and I are going to bring him back to the village. I mean, how are we going to bring him back? He's an S-class Nukenin, especially since he slaughtered his entire clan for unknown reasons. Tsunade looked indignant. The reason is simple. The Uchiha wanted to revolt and on Danzo's orders, he had to massacre the entire clan, but he convinced them to let me live so I could kill him. Sasuke replied. Proof. Tsunade demanded. The summoning. Naruto shouted. The summoning. Hissed the snake. Bring me the files on Uchiha Itachi, they are in my office, as well as the documents on Danzo and his associates. Naruto ordered. Yes, sir. The snake hissed and crawled away. All we have to do is wait. Naruto said and sat down on the couch. Trust me, Tsunade will do it by herself. There's enough dirt in there to not only bring Itachi back, but to take out the elders. And what's in there? Tsunade asked. She's been gathering dirt on him ever since she found out something was wrong with the Uchiha case. Well, let's see what he's found. Tsunade said. Half an hour later, a white snake appeared in the office with a scroll. This is everything you asked for, sir. Hissed the snake. Thank you, you may return, Naruto replied, and the snake disappeared. Here's everything I managed to steal from him. Naruto said and put the scroll on the table, then unfolded it and a folder appeared on the table. Suede took it and started reading. His eyes widened at an incredible speed with each line he read. All right, I give you permission to return Itachi, and after that, to destroy the elders. Tsunade said. We have a week and a half to prepare. Naruto said and removed the barrier. When he left the residence, he said goodbye to Sasuke and went home. Karen, Mom, I'm home. Naruto shouted as he entered the house. He heard footsteps coming from the stairs, it was Kushina. Hi son, how did your mission go? She asked, hugging her son. It went better than ever. Naruto told him again how the mission had gone. Now you tell me how you didn't miss me. It's great, it's boring to be in the house all the time, but it's great, Karen is a great conversationalist, so I haven't been bored, said Kushina as she took a sip of her tea. Speaking of Karen, where is she? Naruto asked. She went to the store about an hour ago. Kushina replied. She's taking a while to come back, I'll go look for her. Naruto said, putting on his cloak and closing his eyes. I already found her, said the scarlet-haired one and disappeared into the scarlet ray. When he appeared on the roof next to Karen, he noticed how the Anbu surrounded her. Without a second thought he teleported to her. With what motive are they harassing her? Naruto said seriously. By order of Danzo-sama Uzumaki Karen is being detained, replied the Anbu without emotion. Danzo means that you are his pawns, goodbye. Naruto said and pierced two of them with chains. The third one dodged and attacked the prince with his tanto. At that the scarlet-haired one unsealed his snake staff and soaked it with wind chakra and blocked the blow with his tanto. At the same time he formed seals with one hand and shouted, Fuden, void bullets. The scarlet-haired guy used a lightning snake and hit the Anbu with it, and while dodging he threw a kunai at him. After he dodged, the scarlet-haired guy used a Haraishin and used a Reikiri to hit the Anbu in the heart. And he headed towards Karen. Isn't he hurt? He asked. No, Naruto, I'm fine, Karen replied. I'll seal these and take you home, said the scarlet-haired boy with a smile, and sealed the corpses and they went home. The next day Naruto arrived at the Hokage's office with the scrolls. Good afternoon Hokage-sama, I have an important message, Naruto said. Then Tsunade frowned and snapped her fingers. Then all the Anbu left the office and Naruto erected a barrier. I won't beat around the bush. Yesterday Karen was attacked by a root of Anbu who obey Danzo. I eliminated them and the bodies are now in my scrolls, Naruto said, and taking out the scrolls he threw them to Tsunade. He's up to something and he needed Karen to do it. He was going to use it to blackmail me into giving him the fox, but his plans for Karen are not going to come to fruition. At the moment she and my mom are in my house, which is under the strongest barriers that I can't enter without a pass seal. Damn Danzo, how long until your plan comes true? The preparations are almost finished, it only remains to go after Itachi. The prince replied. Very well, you are dismissed, said the Hokage, and Naruto removed the barrier and disappeared in a flash of red. The next day at the training grounds of the Uzumaki clan, Naruto practiced his Sharingan and Rinnegan skills, Taijutsu, Ninjutsu and Kenjutsu with the Kubokiribocho and the staff. So, we have to find out what kind of skills my Mangekyo has, said the scarlet-haired boy and activated the Mangekyo. Let's get started. Naruto closed his eyes and concentrated with more chakra and opened the right one, and the place he was looking at burst into black flames. So Amaterasu, said the scarlet-haired boy and closed it. After concentrating on the left, he opened it sharply and the flame began to change shape. Naruto imagined the shape of the sword and the flame took that shape. And controlling the shape of the flame. Great, Naruto said and extinguished the flame. After resting for a while he decided to go to Sasuke's house. When he arrived he knocked on the door and heard some footsteps. Naruto, what did you want? The brunette asked. Will you let me in? The scarlet-haired boy asked, and the brunette stepped away from the door, allowing him to enter. So what is it that you wanted? Sasuke asked as Naruto lifted the barrier. Tomorrow we'll go after Itachi, I hope you're ready, reported and inquired the Uzumaki boss. Yes, I've been waiting for this for a long time, and now, finally, we will avenge everything Danzo did and bring Itachi back to the village, said the brunette happily. I will be waiting for you at the central gate of the village, but I have no idea where it is. Do you know where it is? Naruto asked. I know where it is, so we won't get lost, Sasuke said, taking a sip of his tea. By the way, have you mastered what you wanted? The Uzumaki prince asked, to which he received a nod. What is it about? I have mastered our clan's calling, Sasuke replied proudly. Wow, and who is it, if it's not a secret? Asked the scarlet-haired boy. The Hawks, you have no idea how hard their test was. I can imagine, when I signed up with the snakes, I had to pass 3 tests and my life depended on each one of them, but I made it. Smiled Snake Sanin as he took a sip of his tea. After sitting for a while longer talking, Naruto went home, where after eating with Karen and Kushina he went to sleep. He woke up in the middle of the night to a noise in his room. Opening his Rinnegan, he realized it was Karen dressed in her purple pajamas and glasses, approaching his bed. "Why did you wake up?" the scarlet-haired boy asked, turning on the light. "I'm sorry to wake Naruto-kun, it's just that after what happened today I couldn't sleep, not even under all those barriers you've put up, so I came to see you hoping to fall asleep next to you." Karen lowered her head, somewhat embarrassed. "I see, well then, come to my bed, there is plenty of room for us." Naruto smiled, and Karen smiled and went to him and lay down on the edge of the bed and fell asleep. In the morning, Naruto woke up first in Karen's arms, and carefully so as not to disturb her sleep he was about to get out of bed, but to all his attempts Karen only clung tighter to him. Realizing that there was no choice but to wait for her to wake up, he put his arm around her and waited for her to wake up. After another hour Karen woke up. "Good morning." Uzumaki smiled. "Good morning." Karen replied as she saw that he was sleeping on his chest. She blushed heavily and apologized. "It's okay Karen, now let's go to breakfast," Naruto said. Karen said and went to her room. After an hour Naruto went to the exit of the village, where he met Sasuke, and together with him they went in search of Itachi. Chapter 18. Will of Fire. They had already been walking for half a day in the direction that Sasuke had indicated. Halfway along the way, 2 Nukenin dressed in reddish-black cloaks with red clouds appeared in front of him, one with a 3-bladed scythe and the other with a half-face mask. Well, we have here Uchiha Sasuke, the last of the Uchiha, for his head is promised a nice reward of 2 million ryo, and Scarlet Flash Konoha Uzumaki Naruto 9-tailed Jinchuriki, and his head reward double. Hidan on you Jinchuriki, and I'll take care of the Uchiha. Okay, Kakuzu, I will take care of him, said the Nukenin with the scythe and attacked the guy with scarlet hair. Naruto vs Hidan. Hidan lunged at the scarlet-haired guy, waving his scythe, to which the latter uncurled his staff and blocked Hidan's scythe, and then struck with a 3-bladed kunai, but Hidan only broke the distance, and after sleep, Hidan shouted at Jashin and used a 5-story swear word to attack him, and then struck vertically with his scythe, but was blocked again, and then counterattacked with his kunai, but the gray-haired man again broke the distance. It went on like this for about 5 minutes, after which Naruto's staff broke, to which the scarlet-haired guy unleashed the Kubokiribocho. He looks just like one of ours. Hidan was surprised and laughed maniacally at the scarlet-haired guy, but this time the gray-haired guy found it even harder to hit. I've had it with you. Why can't you just give up and die in the name of Jashin? Because it is my will of fire, and I will not allow anyone to harm me or my loved ones, and now it is time for you to burn. Amaterasu. With those words, the iris pattern of his left eye turned blood red and 3 tomo spun, then took on the pattern of a curved 4-petaled shuriken, and the Hidan burst into black flames. Well, that's done now to Sasuke's rescue. When the scarlet-haired guy arrived, he watched as 4 black subjects with different masks and a wall of fire and wind approached Sasuke. He jumped on Sasuke and stood in front of him, stretched his arms forward and lifted his right eye shield to reveal a Rinnegan and shouted, "The way of Preta." After his words all the fire was consumed. "I see you took care of the gray-haired man," said Sasuke and settled on the ground. "Damn, I've spent too much chakra. Don't worry, I'll finish him off, are you ready Kurama?" added the scarlet-haired boy. "Always," replied the fox as well. "Then let's get started," shouted the scarlet-haired guy and was engulfed in yellow chakra flames. His cape turned yellow, it was decorated with black designs, 3 magatama around his neck, 9 magatama beads appeared on his high collar, 2 strands of hair flew into the air in the shape of fox ears, the stripes on his neck turned black and his left eye changed to a Mangekyo pattern. Naruto then instantly began to create a Bijudama and then shot it at the 2 outermost black creatures and then began to create a Rasenshuriken and used his chakra paw to take it to the other 2. The Bijudama killed both of them, but the Rasenshuriken only killed one of them, the other one dodged it, but was hit by Amaterasu's black flame, which killed it, and then the scarlet-haired guy started attacking Kakuzu, but the latter successfully blocked his attacks. After 5 minutes of this, the scarlet-haired guy got tired and created a clone that started attacking Kakuzu, but the original one jumped back and somersaulted and landed next to Sasuke and started creating Rasenshuriken. Naruto, hurry up, time is running out. Kurama said. I've got it, Dutbeo, get stuck with it. Futo. Rasenshuriken. Naruto said and threw it at Kakuzu, but Kakuzu dodged it, but the Rasenshuriken hit him from behind, killing Kakuzu and disabling Kurama's mod. Chapter 19. Itachi's Gift. After picking up Sasuke, Naruto continued on his way. On the way, they passed through a village where, after getting a room in an inn, they had dinner and rested, and the next day they continued their journey. And now they were at the lair. At last, said the Uchiha. Naruto, please wait here. Okay buddy, but in case of anything just let chakra enter my mark and I'm coming. Uzumaki replied, and Sasuke came in. What can you see through your Sharingan? Itachi asked, sitting on the throne. I see my brother, who sits in front of me and plays the role of the villain. Sasuke replied. Stop it, Itachi, I know the truth. The truth? What truth? Itachi asked, slightly surprised. About the coup and Danzo's order, about the fact that you're still defending Konoha. Sasuke replied. Yeah, and where did you get that information from? Itachi asked. A friend of mine infiltrated the Anbu Root archives and brought me documents with information about the event that night. What do you plan to do now? Itachi asked, shocked. I'll return you to Konoha, and then you, Naruto, and I will kill everyone responsible for the events of those times. I wonder what your plan is. Itachi asked. Sasuke just smiled in satisfaction and chakra was emitted on Naruto's mark. A few seconds later, Naruto appeared next to Sasuke. Naruto, can you explain Itachi's role in our plan? Asked the brunette. Naruto nodded and proceeded to tell the plan. I see, well the plan is good, but I'm afraid I can't help you. Itachi replied after finishing the story. Why brother? Sasuke asked. The thing is, I'm sick and I've been living on pills for about 5 years now, I was supposed to die in today's battle. Itachi replied. Naruto, you can help him, right? Sasuke was in hysterics. The scarlet-haired boy approached Itachi. Will you let me scan your body? Naruto asked, to which he received a nod. Naruto's hand became enveloped in a green glow and closing his eyes he began to run it over Itachi's body. After half an hour Naruto's eyes snapped open and he pulled away from Itachi. Well Naruto, can you help him? Sasuke asked. Naruto looked at his friend and his eyes were filled with pain and regret. I'm afraid that neither I, Orochimaru, nor even Tsunade can cure him, this disease. I don't even know what to call it. Shit. Naruto said and fell silent, then continued. I'm sorry Sasuke, but if Itachi had gone to Tsunade, even 3 years ago, he could have been saved, but not now. Sasuke's eyes filled with tears. Then the color of his eyes changed to red with 3 tomo, and then they swirled into mangyok, and after half an hour they returned to normal. I see you have awakened the Mangekyo. Itachi took the floor. Yes, I did when I learned the truth about that day, but unfortunately I can't use it much because I'm blind. And how much has your eyesight deteriorated? Itachi asked. I haven't used it much, so I still see fine. Sasuke replied. Well then, let me tell you the last secret of the Mangekyo. The last secret? Sasuke asked. What is it about? Itachi told them the story of Madara and his brother. But why doesn't Naruto go blind then, he has Mangekyo too? Sasuke asked. Because it's not mine, besides after the transplant, the fox strengthened the channels of my eyes with his chakra, so I actually have an eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto explained, leaving Itachi dumbfounded. How did you get the Sharingan? During that night, Danzo was taking the eyes of the clan members, and Naruto saved half of them, including our parents' eyes, and after some of his actions he went blind and asked me for permission to transplant a pair to himself, and that's how he got the Sharingan. Sasuke explained. Well then, Sasuke, I'll give you a parting gift. Naruto, will you do me a favor? Itachi asked, and after nodding he continued. Transplant Sasuke with my eyes, I'm almost dead anyway, but first. Itachi summoned the raven with Shisui's eye and delivered that eye to Naruto in the vault. "This is my friend's eye, seal it with the others, the other one Danzo has. Now you can start the transplant," said Itachi and lay down on the previously prepared place. Chapter 20. Revenge of the Elders. Exile. After the eye transplant, Naruto and Sasuke buried Itachi, who did not survive the transplant, and traveled back to the village. After arriving at the village, they reported the failure of the operation and went to Naruto's house, where they began, along with Kurama, Kushina and Karen, to think of another plan. While Homura and Kohaku were no problem, and Sasuke would take care of them, Danzo was not so simple, and they had been discussing it for more than 2 hours. What's there to think about? The fox couldn't take it anymore. "Naruto, you have a Rinnegan, so hit that bastard with Ashura or Chibaku Tensai. Seal him in a meteor, he won't survive this. Your plan is good, but you forgot what Itachi told us, that Danzo had captured Shisui's eye, and had the most powerful genjutsu of all, the Kotoamatsukami, with which he could directly affect a person's memories, changing them without the victim realizing they weren't his. We can't lose an eye like that, especially Itachi gave us a second one, and paired with the second one will be a great asset," commented Sasuke. "Naruto, how well do you know the suppression seals?" Karen suddenly asked. "Enough to keep Kakashi in one place without chakra or ability to move for a day," the scarlet-haired boy replied. "What if, when he's in the residence, we put a chakra and movement suppression seal on him, then remove Shisui's eye, and then use Hiraishin to transport him to the shooting range and, like Kurama said, blow him up with Ashura's way? How about that?" Karen suggested. "That might work," Naruto said startled. "I never thought of it that way before, and that's why I love you." Karen's complexion turned the same color as Kushina's hair, as did Naruto's as he realized what he had just said. After coming up with a plan, they decided to postpone its execution so they could prepare well. For the entire next week, Naruto prepared for the fight with Danzo by practicing each of the Rinnegan's ways. "The way of Ashura," said the scarlet-haired boy and turned his hand into a gun and fired it, blowing the last target into the air. Next, the scarlet-haired boy created a clone and took out a Kubokiribocho from the seal and started practicing his punches with it. After practicing at this pace until late in the evening, he decided to take a walk to the Ichiraku ramen. After eating ramen, he headed home, where after talking to Karen and getting a frying pan from Kushina for being late for dinner, he headed to his bedroom. The next day, as well as the next 2 days were spent in training. The snake guarding the entrance to the dorm informed Naruto that Danzo had arrived at the dorm. Disregarding the call, Naruto headed towards Sasuke. "It's Sasuke's time. Let's proceed as planned, you have Koharu and Homura, and I have Danzo," Naruto said, and he and Sasuke headed to the residence. When they arrived at the residence, he told Sasuke to wait for the signal, but after half an hour there was still no signal. Naruto moved Sasuke and the 2 elders to a prearranged location, went to Danzo and while beating him put a suppression seal on him and then grabbed him by the arm and teleported them to a distant training ground. "I knew I should have nipped you in the bud then," Danzo said and began to unwind his arm. Uncoiling it, he presented his arm to the world. "How many Uchiha did you cut off to have this arm?" Naruto said. "Oh, I didn't have to kill them, Itachi did it all for me," Danzo said. "Well, now I'm going to take the one on your tail." The fight began, in which, to the old man's surprise, Naruto deflected each of his blows. Jumping back, Danzo began to fold seals to use the technique, and when the last seal was folded, he spoke, "Fuden, vacuum wave." But what was his surprise when the technique didn't work? Surprised. "Now I'll take my eye off Shisui." With those words, the scarlet-haired boy threw a 3-bladed kunai at Danzo and as it flew past, Naruto came up sharply and gouged out Shisui's eye. A cry of pain was heard. "Great, now I don't have to hold back," smiled the scarlet-haired boy, gouging out the eye with a special solution. "What? He's been holding back all this time, how strong is he? I can't lose here so easily. I'll take it with me." With these thoughts, Danzo activated the seal of his own curse. "If I die, I'll take you with me." Laughed like a madman. Danzo burst out laughing. Not this time. At Danzo's surprised look, Naruto opens his right eye and shows his Rinnegan. This is for your father. For your mother. And for the entire Uchiha clan, as well as for Uzushio's betrayal of the third. Know my revenge. With those words, Naruto turned his hand into a gun and fired it at Danzo. There was an explosion of colossal power that wiped out Danzo as well as half the training camp. Now it's all for Sasuke. Naruto said and disappeared in a scarlet flash. Meanwhile, Sasuke was fighting two elders at once, and shuriken were flying at him from behind, and he didn't notice, but Shinra Tensei. Naruto shouted and the shurikens flew in different directions. Don't let your guard down, Sasuke, even if they are old they are as strong as Kage. I guess you've already taken care of Danzo. Sasuke acknowledged Naruto's presence. Yes, but thanks to the seals, he wasn't a problem. Did you kill Danzo? Homura and Kaharu were stunned. Yeah, now it's time to finish, Sasuke, let's make them suffer in the fire. Naruto suggested and activated the Mangyoke. Come on partner, said Sasuke and activated the Mangyoke as well. Naruto and Sasuke, Amaterasu. With those words, Homura and Kaharu burst into black, indestructible flames. There were screams of pain and agony that lasted half an hour and then subsided. Great, Sasuke, we've had our revenge, now let's destroy the root and take what belongs to our clans. Receiving a nod, Naruto and Sasuke set off for the base of the root. It was already night. Naruto and Sasuke had already scoured the base of the root from top to bottom. They had found many scrolls of seals and techniques of the Uchiha clan, as well as Izumi, who was currently sleeping in Sasuke's arms, and Naruto was carrying a scroll with all the scrolls he had found. When Naruto got home, he went into the bathroom and washed off the traces of the battle, then went down to the kitchen and had dinner with Karen and Kushina. 3 days later, Naruto had a bad feeling, so he headed to Sasuke's house. When he got to him, he knocked on the door. Hi Sasuke, how's our rescued girl? Hi Naruto, Izumi is still asleep. Listen, I have a bad feeling. Sasuke said. You're not the only one. I managed to get Shisui's eye out of Danzo, it's in my vault now. Naruto said. After talking for a while, Naruto went for a walk around the village. While walking through the village he was stopped by Anbu. Naruto Uzumaki, the Hokage wishes to see you. With those words, Anbu disappeared into the Shunshin. Now that's a premonition. Naruto mumbled, and turned around to head for the residence. When he reached the residence, he noticed Sasuke. Did the Hokage summon you too? The scarlet-haired boy asked. Yes, said Sasuke, and together with Naruto they headed to the Hokage's office. When they arrived they knocked on the door and after they were allowed to enter the office. Did you call Tsunade-sama? Naruto asked. She called. The fifth one spoke somberly. Is something wrong? Sasuke asked. By decision of the civil and clan council, you Uchiha Sasuke and Uzumaki Naruto, for killing the elders and the Anbu unit, you are banished from the Hidden Leaf village. The decision is not subject to review. Tsunade said. Banished means. Naruto said sarcastically and took off his leaf blindfold and slammed it on the Hokage's desk. We'll leave, but we'll leave for good. Come on Sasuke, you can help me. Naruto and Sasuke walked out slamming the door loudly. You're going to banish us, you ungrateful bastards. Naruto grumbled back to his training camp. Sasuke, seal all the scrolls, and I'll go give the good news to Mom and Karen. I'll give it to them. Naruto said and walked to the Uzumaki neighborhood. Mom, Karen, I have some bad news. Naruto said as soon as he entered the house. What's wrong, son? Kushina asked. Sasuke and I have been banished from the village for killing the elders. Naruto said. I won't let you go anywhere alone. Karen said and Kushina supported her. Fine, then we'll leave nicely, said Naruto with a predatory smile. I'll go for what belongs to our clan. With these words Naruto headed to the residence and having penetrated the archives he took the Uzumaki seal scroll and sealed it, headed to his training camp where Sasuke was waiting for him. I'll take care of you Sasuke, go get your stuff. Said the scarlet-haired boy. Okay, but what's that scroll you have there? Naruto asked, pointing to a scroll behind Naruto's back. A scroll with clan seals on it. They're going to exorcise me and keep the scroll. After sealing the remaining scrolls, Naruto took the 6 scrolls and put them in his bag, then removed the barrier and walked towards Sasuke. Arriving at his house, he knocked on the door. "Sasuke is ready?" Naruto asked. "Actually yes, but Izumi is coming with us," Sasuke said. "I can't leave her here, you know." "It's okay. I'll take Karen and Mom too," Naruto said. "Shall we go?" Naruto sealed all the available scrolls on a sealing scroll and put them in a bag, as well as the clothes and money. "You go, and I'll give a parting gift to the ungrateful ones. My clone will go with you, so there will be no suspicions," said the scarlet-haired boy, and after creating a clone, he left them with the others and headed for the Hokage mountain. Half an hour later the clone dissipated, indicating it was safe to begin, rising into the air as Pain spoke, I'm off wonderfully." Abruptly, a series of powerful explosions erupted from 3 different locations, namely the Uzumaki neighborhood, the root base and the old training ground Naruto used. After that, the scarlet-haired guy went to the busts of the previous Hokage and, placing the 5th explosion above his head, teleported outside the walls of Konoha and blew it into the air. Only after that did he teleport back to everyone. "What were those explosions, Naruto?" Karen and Kushina asked. "A parting gift," Naruto said. "Where are we going now?" Karen asked. "To the land of whirlpools, to the ruins of Uzushio," Naruto said and led them towards the whirlpool. Meanwhile in Konoha. "What the hell is going on?" Tsunade was freaking out. "Report the situation. There's a series of powerful explosions from 3 different locations. Near the Uzumaki neighborhood, an abandoned landfill, and in the southeast of the village." Some shinobi reported. "Shizune is coming in. Hokage-sama. I just came from the archives, the Uzumaki seal scroll has disappeared," Shizune said in a panic. "What?" An explosion sounded just above the residence. As Tsunade came out she saw her village that was in panic, looking at the heads of the Hokage. Tsunade froze in mute shock. All the busts of the cage's heads were intact, but it was their head bust that was completely destroyed. Damn it, it was all because of those Uzumaki, and more specifically his current head. Damn it, I knew it was better not to make Uzumaki angry, but no, damn it, I did. Cage grumbled. It went wonderfully. With those thoughts, Tsunade set about calming her own. Chapter 21. Arrival at the Maelstrom. Why don't you tell me what you want to do, Naruto-kun? Izumi asked. It's simple, first we'll get to Uzushio, then I'll rebuild the protective barrier, and after that we'll start rebuilding the village. I've already hired an architect I know for that. Naruto said. Do you mean Tazuna? Sasuke asked, to which he received a nod. When did you have time? Before I came back to you. Naruto explained. When they reached the village, they stopped. Naruto, Uzushio is in a protective barrier that only the true head of the clan can break through. Kurama said seriously. So the barrier might not let us through. Naruto stated. Yes. I'll go on alone, it might be dangerous there, Sasuke you stay on guard. Naruto said. No, we won't let you go alone. Said Karen. And that's out of the question. And it's out of the question. Naruto said and folded the seals and scattered the kunai into a cube shape. Sorry, but this will be safer for you. Fuinjutsu. Hiraishin, barrier of 4 crimson lights. Abruptly, the 4 kunai flashed scarlet and created a chakra bar for each kunai, which shot skyward, followed by the erection of walls. Naruto headed towards the barrier and as he approached it, he touched it. Sensing no danger, he turned and saw the worried looks of his family, his friend and his girlfriend. Turning towards the barrier, he entered it. Walking through the barrier he was met with the sight of the ruins of the village. There were signs of battle everywhere, katanas, kunai, halberds, broken arrows were strewn about, the cherry trees were holed by various weapons but stubbornly still growing. Walking a little further Naruto realized that he had reached the market district, where there were also signs of battle. Walking a little further he came to the central square, in the middle of which was a broken fountain, where he observed a grisly scene. There were 2 skeletons lying beside the fountain, an adult girl was hugging the skeleton of a little boy. Naruto's tears welled up in his eyes. They fought to the end, Naruto. The tiny fox materialized to comfort him. I don't understand why they slaughtered the whole village without sparing even the children. Naruto asked. Fear, my friend, fear caused by your vitality, chakra reserves, stamina, regeneration and Fuin level. Alright, let's move on. Naruto said calmly. As he approached the residence of the village chief he made up his mind. He found an inscription, the leader will protect his village. Once inside, he found the whirlwind protector, taking it along with a piece of the spare cloth he always carried with him. The scarlet-haired boy adjusted the protector and, tying it to his forehead, continued on his way. Moving deeper into the building, he found a granite slab that was surrounded by a large number of symbols. Walking towards it, Naruto began to study the seal. After half an hour he realized this and began to open the barrier. Removing the barrier, he slid the slab away and revealed the whirlwind cage's hat and cloak. Taking them out he went to another seal on the wall. After spending another hour studying it he realized it was a seal that controlled the barrier, so he began to change its structure to one that would let it pass. After doing so, the scarlet-haired boy created a pass-through seal and registered it in the seal database. Finished, he headed towards the exit of the village. Walking to the previous room, he put on the Uzukage's cloak and his hat, suddenly finding a letter in the pocket of the cloak that read, to the next clan and village chief. The letter told how the maelstrom had fallen, and the seal with Ashina Uzumaki's katana. Printing it, he resealed it in the seal of his hand. Kushina was worried about her son, and when the barrier suddenly lit up scarlet, her excitement skyrocketed, but after half an hour everything calmed down, and Naruto came out of the village wearing a cloak with turquoise waves on the ends, a whirlwind cage hat, and a whirlwind Hitai 8 tied around his forehead. As he approached his barrier, he bent the concentration seal and withdrew the barrier. Well, welcome home, Naruto said and led them through the barrier into the village. So our task for today is to start demolishing the buildings and prepare the site for the mass grave. My Chibaku Tensei will help with the removal of the heavier pieces. So, let's get started. With these words Naruto folded the seals and created 2 companies of clones and sent them to clear the rubble. One company is 100 people. Naruto started sealing the remains of the inhabitants and then went to look for a suitable place to create a mass grave. When he found a suitable clearing, he used the earth element jutsu to create a memorial and grave for each person, then buried them with full honors and went to help clean up the ruins. They made their way to the only more or less intact building, the cage residence, where they went to their rooms and went to bed, all except Naruto. He had been talking to the fox about how to attract clans to the village, and it was decided to lure the small clans in danger by giving them patronage and shelter under the protective barrier of Uzushio. A month later, with the help of a large number of clans, the Tazuna brigade that arrived a week later, rebuilt the dwellings and the residence. And so, the next day, Naruto, leaving Kushina in charge, left in search of clan members who would accept to be part of the reborn Uzushio. Chapter 22. Cage Meeting. It had been 6 months since the beginning of the rebuilding of Uzushio, and 2 days since Naruto had returned to the village. During his journey he had brought clans such as the remnants of the Hitaki clan into the maelstrom, in addition to those who were part of Konoha. Chinoik, a nearly extinct clan that possessed the Ketsuryugan dojutsu, and the survivors of the Yuki clan, whose members possessed the Kekkei Genkai Hyoten. Orochimaru and Kabuto also moved to the village, where to their surprise both were greeted with respect as a mentor and friend of the Uzukage. Also the clanless who had nowhere else to go flocked to Uzushio. Naruto sat at the Uzukage's desk and sorted through the documentation with reports on economic development and the creation of the Shinobi Academy. He was glad that the village was starting to revive at such a good pace. Uzukage-sama. Uzukage-sama. A girl with shoulder-length spiky blonde hair, violet eyes and a standard Jonin uniform, a standard gray shinobi jumpsuit with a red vest over it, flew in. "What's up, Yuka?" Naruto asked his secretary, looking up from his paperwork. "A letter has arrived from the Iron Country," the girl said. "Well, let's see what it is," Naruto said, taking the envelope and reading the letter. So the 5-cage meeting is in a week and Mifune-san has invited us to attend. It's a great opportunity to announce the rebirth of Uzushio. Well, tell Uchiha Sasuke and Yuki Tadao to come to my office. Hi. Yuka said and left the office, while Naruto went back to his paperwork. What did you want, Naruto? Sasuke asked. Did you call Uzukage-sama? He was dressed in the standard Anbu Uzushio uniform, with a Tanto-type short sword slung across his back. Well, first of all, Sasuke, how's the genin training going? Naruto asked. Thanks to our training program at the academy, our genin already have good chakra control and a basic level of Fuin, and are actively preparing for what it means to be a shinobi for the village. Their goal is to protect their home at all costs. Afterwards, they receive training in clan techniques, while the clanless receive more advanced training in Fuin, Irionanjutsu, Kenjutsu or elemental techniques. Sasuke reported. Tadao, how is Anbu's training going? Naruto asked, noticing the dark-haired man wearing the Anbu uniform. Tadao replied, over the last month we have added 5 more people to the Anbu ranks, and we are now 18 members of the elite unit. In a week's time the meeting of the 5-cage, initiated by the Raikage, will be held, and Mifune-san has invited us to attend, as the meeting is being held on his lands. So you are my escorts. We leave tomorrow, so you have time to prepare yourselves and say goodbye to your families. You are dismissed, Naruto said, and then they called his office. Come in. Naruto, oh, Uzukage-sama, I brought you lunch. Karen corrected herself, entering the office and letting Sasuke and Tadao out when she noticed he wasn't alone. Eat. Thanks Karen, wait for me, let's go for a walk. Naruto said as he ate. After eating, he created a clone, which he left to sort out the rest of the documents, and headed for the exit. As he strolled through the town, he was happy to see the cheerful townspeople going about their business and greeting him cheerfully as a sign of respect. To think this place was once a ruin, seeing all these happy people, you wouldn't believe it. Karen said, snuggling up next to her lover. The village is thriving, but without the support of the people I care about and all those who have agreed to join our village, this place wouldn't be the same. Naruto said as he walked down the main street, and 2 children bumped into him. Oh, brats are yawning, they almost got hurt. Naruto said in a joking tone. Oh, excuse us, Uzukage. The children bowed and Karen smiled. That's okay. Naruto smiled and kept walking. On such a discreet walk they came to a park, in the center of which was a fountain at the end of which stood a miniature granite statue of Kurama creating Bijudama, but instead of chakra from the tails flowed water. After walking some more, Naruto accompanied Karen home and returned to the residence to finish his work. The next day Naruto, Tadao and Sasuke went to a meeting in the Land of Iron. Naruto was dressed in his cage robes, with a hat on his head and an Ashina katana on his back. Sasuke was dressed like Boruto, only with both arms, and Tadao in his standard Anbu Uzushio uniform and a falcon mask. Now that we're all gathered, let's get started. I said as the Hokage took a seat. Don't rush Raikage, they're not all gathered yet. Mifune said. It looks like all the Kage are here. The Hokage was puzzled. No, someone else is coming. Mifune said, and one of the samurai came up to him and whispered something. Here comes the last one. A guy dressed in a red cloak with blue waves on the end, a katana slung on his back and a blue-colored hat with the kanji, swirl, on it, entered the office to confirm his words. Sorry for the delay, Kage-san. He took off his hat and put it on the table. And who are you exactly? Unoki asked. Oh, where are my manners? Said the guy guiltily, and for some reason his right eye was closed. My name is Uzumaki Naruto and I am the second Uzukage of the Hidden Whirlwind Village. Nonsense, the village has been destroyed for over 50 years. Said the Raikage. Well, actually the village has been rebuilt for about half a year already. Mifune said. Maybe we should start discussing the matter why you Raikage have gathered us together. Gaara said. Young people are bold nowadays. Unoki said. Tsuchikage Dono, if you don't stop, I will be forced to visit your village because of what you took during the destruction of old Uzushio, and believe me, I will take everything you took. Said Naruto, releasing ki. That goes for you too, Lady Hokage. Uzushio remembers well the betrayal of your village, during the attack on Uzushio, as well as the betrayal 6 months ago. The Raikage couldn't take it and slammed the table with all his might, causing it to break. Sasuke and Tadao, wearing a hawk mask and wielding their swords, appeared next to Naruto. "Calm down, Raikage-sama," Mifune asked. "And let's get back to the matter of the Akatsuki. My brother, Killer Bee, was kidnapped recently. Something must be done about those Akatsuki. Hokage-sama, your village is the only one that has not lost a Jinchuriki," I said and received a chuckle from Naruto. "Uzukage, what's so funny? Raikage-sama, when Yugito-ni was kidnapped, you didn't lift a finger to get her back, but when it came to Bai, you got excited." Naruto commented and remembered how he had saved Yugito. Flashback. Naruto was walking after successfully negotiating with the Chinook clan to join the shinobi of the Whirlpool village. As he was walking towards Kiri, to negotiate with the remnants of the Yuki clan, he noticed Kisame and Zetsu carrying Yugito. "Oh, Kisame, today we are in luck, it's the Jinchuriki Kyuubi," said Zetsu, throwing Yugito and attacking the scarlet-haired guy. Naruto scattered the Hiraishin's kunai, and just as Zetsu was about to hit him, he teleported to the kunai. Moving towards Yugito, he scattered the kunai around him, and after forming a series of seals, he spoke. A barrier of 4 purple lights emerged around Yugito, teleporting to the kunai next to Hidan, grabbed the top of his head and used ninjendo to extract Kisami's soul. What a nasty life he had. He then attacked Zetsu, but realizing that frontal attacks didn't work on him, he bounced off and closed his left eye and whispered, "Amaterasu." He snapped open his left eye, in which his Mangekyo was burning, blood was coming out of it and Zetsu was covered in black flames. Then he put his palms together and said, "Chibaku Tensai. Chibaku Tensai." Zetsu was sucked into the center of the ball and then covered in boulders. Naruto sealed the meteor in a huge scroll and burned it. Walking over to the blonde, he lifted her up and carried her on his shoulders. Yugito woke up in the middle of the night. Opening his eyes, he saw the flames of the fire and a guy sitting with a katana in his feet and a cup of jasmine tea in his hands. When he tried to get up, his body ached. "I do not advise you to get up." She could not see her face or Hitai Ate's because of the shadow of the fire. "What happened and who are you?" Yugito asked. "You were attacked by 2 Akatsuki. In the fight, you were seriously injured, breaking 2 ribs. I gave you first aid and fused your ribs, but now you need time to recover." "Ah, yes, I never showed up." He scratched the back of his neck, guilty. "My name is Uzumaki Naruto, head of the Uzumaki clan and also the Uzukage of the new Uzushio. Now, could you answer a couple of my questions?" "Go ahead," Yugito replied. "How are they treating you in the cloud?" Naruto asked, holding out a cup of tea to him. "They honestly hate me, they tried to kill me there when I was little and more than once." Yugito answered sadly. "I have a suggestion for you, how about moving to Uzushio? In our village the Jinchuriki are treated with respect, as they keep the tailed ones inside." Naruto suggested. "I'll have to think about it," Yugito replied. End of memory. What do you mean by that? The Mizukage was puzzled. That both Kumo and Konoha don't care much for ordinary citizens, and when it comes to their relatives, they go crazy. Naruto explained kindly. "So, Kage-sama, we have strayed from the topic of Akatsuki. Shall we get back to the topic of what's going on with your brother Raikage-san?" Mifune suggested and asked. "Yes, you're right Mifune-san, according to the information we got from the survivor, Bai was attacked by a man in a black cloak with red clouds, red hair, and he is also known to be the owner of the legendary Rinnegan dojutsu." I said. "Rinnegan and red hair," Naruto said, making memory. "According to the description, your brother Raikage-sama met the leader of this organization, Pain. He thinks he's a god. Well, he certainly is a psychopath. He will cause a lot of trouble with Rinnegan's abilities." "How do you know about Rinnegan's abilities, Lord Uzukage?" Gaara asked. "Lord Kage, you must have forgotten that I myself am the bearer of such eyes." Naruto opened his right eye, in which Rinnegan burned with a blue light. "I see," said Gaara. "By the way, I would like to make trade alliances with Suna and Kiri. How would you like that, Lady Mizukage, Lord Kage?" I don't mind, said the Mizukage. Neither do I, Gaara said. Well then, I suggest you come to our house in Uzushio to discuss the terms of the treaty. Naruto suggested. We'll give you a proper welcome. I don't mind, Gaara said. Neither do I, said the Mizukage. Then I suggest we adjourn the meeting, said Mifune. Chapter 23. Declaration of War. Uzukage-sama. A delegation from Kiri and Suna has arrived. Yuka said. Good, let's go receive the guests, replied Naruto, heading towards the exit. Madam Mizukage, Lord Kazekage, welcome to Uzushio. Naruto greeted the guests. Please come in, you must be tired from your journey, so you will be escorted to your rooms, and then, if you wish, you will be given a tour of the village. Naruto let the Kage into the village and led them towards the inn. The two Kages marveled at the beauty of the village. That's a beautiful village you have, Lord Uzukage. Mei commented. We didn't build anything new, but restored the houses as they were, and in the residence there were blueprints of all the buildings. Naruto replied, stopping at a 3-story building. Here we are, I'll show you your rooms, but I have to get back to village business. Have a good vacation. The next day, at the Uzukage's residence, a military treaty was discussed and trade opportunities were discussed. Lord Uzukage, said Anbu with a falcon mask. I have bad news. What's wrong, Hawk? Naruto asked. Our intelligence reported that an army formed by 3 countries such as Kumo, Iwa and Konoha is approaching our village. Their intentions are still unclear, but it seems that they want to start a war. Anbu explained. That's bad. Tell all the scouts involved to return to the village, and gather all the shinobi involved at the main square. Yes, said the Anbu and disappeared into the Shunshin vortex. If this is war, you can count on Suna, Lord Uzukage. Gaara said. As well as with Kiri. Said the Mizukage, Terumi Mei. Thank you very much, Mizukage-sama, Kazekage-san. Thank the Kage of Naruto. Chapter 24. War. The army formed by Kumo, Willow and Konoha was approaching the whirlpool when suddenly they decided to destroy the whirlpool again. Wow, even the composition is the same. A guy with blood-scarlet hair, wearing a red Jonin vest with a red cape with blue waves on the end. I'll give you the opportunity to turn yourselves in or face the consequences. Is it Naruto or what? Sakura asked. Do you mean Scarlet Lightning? A panicked Leaf Chunin asked. What? Is the Hokage crazy? To send us to fight Scarlet Lightning? I'm not prepared for that. Panic spread among the shinobi, and when the motive was revealed to the shinobi of Iwa, they decided, as did half the army, that life was more valuable to them and fled. I see that the sane ones have left the battlefield, so I'll say it for the last time. Do you want to give up? With these words, Naruto, the guy with scarlet hair and a huge wave of wind, released a volley of death, and then summoned a Chibaku Tensei meteorite. After that, 50 others left the battlefield. Kakashi-san, do you remember what you said when we tested you? Naruto asked. In the shinobi world, those who break the rules are trash, and those who leave their teammates in trouble are much worse. Kakashi said. I suggest you and Sakura move to Uzushio. You'll save your lives, because I'm not going to spare anyone. Naruto suggested. That's why we won't leave our partners here. Kakashi said confidently. Wait, Naruto, I agree with your proposal. Sakura said and walked towards him. Really, Sakura? Kakashi asked, dumbfounded. Yes, Kakashi-sensei, I'm serious, he's my partner, so I won't leave him or Sasuke. Sakura said and stood next to Naruto. Well, your choice. The time to think is over. Fuinjutsu. Hiraishin, 8 Crimson Light Barrier. The remains of the army were covered by a barrier. The leader will protect his people. Hiraishin. Naruto said, and the ranks of the attackers began to dwindle rapidly, sparing no one. Half an hour later, only a handful of the army remained. The alliance of Kumo, Iwa and Konoha acknowledged their defeat and signed a peace treaty to keep the villages intact, and Iwa and Kumo were paid for everything they had taken from Uzushio, including the rest of the Uzumaki clan. As a result, the Uzumaki clan now consisted of 25 people, and all of them recognized Naruto as the head of the clan and the village. Chapter 25. Events after the war. Epilogue. A year later Akatsuki tried to attack the Maelstrom but they were destroyed including Nagato, Naruto Zetsu Black sealed in a scroll and then burned. With the help of Kongo Fuso and Hiraishin's chains and Rinnegan's abilities, Obito was also killed. Trade relations with Suna and Kiri allowed the Maelstrom to flourish, and a military agreement allowed the three villages to train Fuin, as well as some wind and water elemental techniques. Sakura was assigned as a doctor at the Whirlpool Hospital and was glad she had accepted Naruto's suggestion to move to Uzushio at that time. Iwa, Konoha and Kumo decided not to accept any more attempts to destroy Uzushio and also offered to sign peace treaties between all the villages. 7 years passed. On the mountain near the Uzukage's residence stood a guy with scarlet hair. His left eye was black as night and the other blue as the sky. The pupil was like a dot and from this dot came circles like ripples in the water, and in the first 2 circles there were 3 tomo. A scarlet-haired boy about 5 years old, with sky-blue eyes and 2 stripes on his cheeks, shouted and ran towards Naruto, followed by a scarlet-haired girl with crimson eyes, a girl about 2 years old with similar hair and eyes, but without glasses, and a scarlet-haired girl with violet eyes, wearing a long dress and green blouse. "Ichiro, how are you, son?" Naruto asked smiling, kneeling down to take his son in his arms. "Fine, Dad," smiled the boy. "And here are my favorite wife, Mom and little Akemi." Naruto smiled and hugged Kushina, Karen and Akemi. Then they watched as a family as the sun set over the reborn Uzushio. And on the other half of the mountain sat the same married couple, Uchiha Sasuke, his wife Uchiha Izumi, and their daughter, Akemi's age, little Itsuko. And on the other half were Sakura and Tadao, who had been dating for 6 months. The end.